place at first base. From here, we move to the latest rumors surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo. According to ESPN and reports out of Miami, Giannis is excited about playing for the Heat, but the problem is Milwaukee isn't excited about the package of picks and players to make a trade to South Florida work. As a result, the Celtics and others are still in the running. At the World Cup, Iran and New Zealand played to a 2-2 draw. Saudi Arabia and Uruguay and Belgium and Egypt played to 1-1 draws. And in the shocker of the day, Cape Verde and tournament favorite Spain played to a scoreless tie. There are 3 more matches today, including Norway and Iraq at what is now called Boston Stadium in Foxborough. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. tonight. And Texas Tech announced late last night quarterback Brendan Sorsby is leaving the school and entering the NFL supplemental draft. He's reportedly going to be taken in the second round. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Jeep. You can't spell American without it. During the Jeep Make the Summer event, celebrate 250 years of the country that can with a great deal on the vehicles that always can. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Actually coaching the game, or it's just that is.
I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Yes, I finally shaved my nuts.
and Hardy
Who, me?
Just hanging around.
on 98.5.
Anchorman, heard about you.
Yeah. We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
That's gross.
Not a great cook, but I do cook.
When I asked him about the sides,
Kick them in the balls.
I don't care about it, but it's not good behavior.
Blaze Bailey is omitted.
Toucher and Hardy
We're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
So someone had sent us shirts of, they used to have the Big Johnson. They were horrible shirts, but Big Johnson fishing lines, like,
Oh, hell yeah.
whatever double entendre, like,
Yeah.
when you want to get your rod and some tuna, go Big Johnson or something like that. And so someone put John Wallach's pillows. Is it, John? You have the shirt right in front of you.
Yeah, that one says Big Waldick Pillows.
Yeah, and it's
this
him.
one
It's basketballs.
Big basketballs, bouncy, it says.
Yeah.
So you want to hang this one from the other side of the...
No, one's
just
enough.
one's
But,
enough.
the fun thing is that John has a heavy woman sitting on top of him in a bikini, and his head is sticking out with a big grin on his face. He couldn't be happier, and he sits there with that big grin on his face, and he says, I've just been smothered, or I'm about to be smothered, and that's why art is art, because we don't know. It's up for interpretation. Has he been smothered? And he has come up excited about the experience, maybe going to go back in again.
Is it the anticipation of the impending smothering?
I'm guessing by it is an anticipatory smile, because I would think after the smothering, he's just more in a state of bliss, like not so much smiling like with his teeth, but smiling like with like a light eyes closed smile. Like, John, tape yourself being smothered tonight and sexually pleased, and then if you could, let's see your face after. If you could do that for us.
Okay.
He's got other plans tonight. Second World Cup match in Foxborough.
Mm-hmm.
Parking lots open at 2, gates open at 3. John Wallach will probably be leaving his home in Natick around 3 p.m.
A little earlier, I'm told. We're carpooling down.
What time's the game?
6. We're factoring in traffic. There are a block of 16 people, of which myself and my 2 sons are a part of.
Okay.
And
Gillette
so
is
we're
20 minutes from your house, 25?
half an hour.
Oh.
Half an hour south on a normal day.
Okay, so what we're going to have John do, what I suggested John do for our @Toucher and Hardy Instagram account, is to have John, like, kind of like, all right, it just be clipped up by Nick and put into kind of a narrative of John leaving his house, John getting into the traffic around Gillette, John getting to the parking lot of Gillette, John then navigating himself into the stadium, which I've heard is not easy. Who's playing tonight?
It is Norway against Iraq tonight.
I don't know really what would be going on. I don't know how many Iraqi people are going to be here. And what does Norway do?
All I know is Norway has that chant that Minnesota Vikings fans stole, the Skol chant. That's all I know.
What does Norway do?
What do you mean?
Well, we know that the Swiss make watches.
Oh, yeah.
Chocolate.
Well, Scottish had bagpipes that they play.
Scotland folk have their bagpipes. Even Sweden has their Nazis. What does Norway do?
What does Sweden have?
Watch The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Sweden, rotten with Nazis.
I actually have not seen that movie.
Great movie.
Okay.
What do we know about the fjords?
Sure.
Right? That's Norway?
I think that's right. The fjords of Norway. Sure.
Tell me one thing about Norway.
They have one. I can only tell you about their soccer team. I don't know about imports and exports.
Well,
Sorry.
what about
what's their GDP?
I don't have an answer.
But
for
are
you.
they a rowdy bunch? The Norwegians?
The Norwegians?
Norwegians?
Norwegians.
Are they a rowdy bunch?
They apparently the soccer fans are not nearly as rowdy as Scotland, but they are a rowdy bunch, from what I've been reading.
Well, because Hardy and I can tell you all about Iraqi
Of course.
people.
I can tell you more about the Jordanians.
Oh, see, we were almost entirely Iraqi. Chaldeans, too. Not Muslim Iraqis.
That's right.
Catholic Iraqis.
Norway.
More of them than any place on the planet other than Baghdad, Iraq. That's right. We had more Chaldeans than any city in Iraq, and they're Iraqi people, than Baghdad.
Norway. I don't know what you're in for tonight, Wallach.
I don't either. All I know is they have that chant I told you about, and the Norwegian soccer team was 10th on the list of best odds to win the World Cup. Apparently, this is one of the better teams
Would
in the
you
field.
like to borrow my copy of Bill Buford's Among the Thugs?
No.
Which is about soccer hooliganism that he went out to, and he immersed himself with the soccer hooligans.
Is that, I would imagine that's the Premier League, correct, in England?
It's the Premier League in England, but they go to World Cup games at one point in the book.
Okay.
They travel to World Cup games.
You're not driving tonight, right?
No.
Well, you'll have time to read it in the hours it'll take you to get there and get home.
Be stuck in traffic. The good news is if you are traveling from my town, which is Natick, you spend no time on 95 and very, very little time, like 100 yards of time on Route 1.
No, that's good news.
So it's not.
That's really,
it's all back roads. You don't have to worry about that traffic. You only have to worry about the road closures.
Only all
surrounding
the
that.
traffic from people coming from Framingham and Natick and Needham the
other
exact
part,
same thing.
The other good thing, and I'm not doubting this is going to be a sellout. I'm sure it will. But this is apparently the worst.
Sorry, any soccer fans living in Framingham? I think there might be. I think there might be a handful.
There are one or two Brazilians in Framingham, if I remember correctly. That's true.
You're so screwed.
That's a good point. They're all traveling the same route I am.
Yeah, go ahead.
But if I leave early enough, I'll be able to navigate the 2 hours.
Yeah.
Going down, I can tell you from experience, just going to Patriots games, it's 10 miles south. Going the first 9.5 miles will take you 15 minutes. Going the last half mile takes you about 45 minutes or an hour, if not longer.
Well, that's not going to be the case tonight because, number one, you're also traveling during the start of rush hour. So there's just going to be normal traffic.
Well, we're going to get down there really early. Apparently, there is a cookout. Basics, still Hardy.
You know what time traffic starts in the afternoon around here? It's 2:00.
There was traffic coming south on Saturday. Or on Sunday, rather. There was traffic coming south.
Saturday's sneaky worst traffic day of the week because
Well,
it's all day in every direction.
I thought it was
around
Tuesday.
where 95 and 93 connect, it just was stopped.
Yeah, weekends suck. But
John, I can help you out here.
Okay.
They have names like Barmy Bernie, Daft Donald, and Steamin' Sammy. They like lager in huge quantities. The Queen, football clubs, especially Manchester United in themselves. Their dislike encompasses the rest of the known universe, and England's soccer thugs expressed in ways that range from mere vandalism to riots that tear entire cities. Now, Bill Buford, editor of the prestigious journal Granta, which you're aware of, enters this alternate society and records both its savageries and its sinister allure with the social imagination of George Orwell and the raw personal engagement of Hunter Thompson.
Wow.
That, John, you could find out all about the horrible rapes and beatings that go down in some of these soccer matches.
I don't think I'll have to worry about that today. It's just a guess. I think I'll be better. I think I'll be okay.
If you say so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just preparing
Yes.
you. And there was one incident, I think we've talked about on the air, at a English football match where several hundred people died, got smushed up against the gate because they would have the visitors section just be like cattle in a pen.
Right.
And then people were begging for them to open the doors, and they just weren't opening the doors, and then everyone got crushed.
So that's Wallach's night tonight.
Yep.
Beaton had a bad night last night as he was awoken at 1:30 in the morning.
Which one of his parents woke him up?
His dad.
What happened?
It was the smoke detector was going off at 1:15 in the morning.
Not the smoke detector,
All of
but
them.
all of them, because they're hardwired and they're all connected. And now, Fred, this happened to you. It's happened to all of us, right? Smoke detector goes off in the house. What do you do?
Run for my life.
Oh. John?
Well, for me, you go downstairs and you reset the alarm, or you hit the reset button.
You figure out which one
Yes, we figure out which one it is, and in some cases, there's a button there. You reset it, and it's fine.
To me, this is interesting. The Beaton household. What did you do, Beaton?
Well, I laid in bed for about 2 minutes for them to go off, and then they didn't. And then I got out of the house.
And we got out of the house, and who was called?
The fire department.
Oh boy!
I should call the fire department out to their house.
Oh boy!
Did you? Was there fear that the house was burning somewhere and you couldn't see, feel, or smell it?
Well, the first thing I had to do was get the dog. The dog was stuck in the crate. She couldn't be pried out, so me and my brother had to lift the crate outside to get everyone outside. I didn't know if there was a fire or not, but then I saw there was no fire, so I don't know. My dad just called 911. He didn't know what else to do.
Okay. All right.
He didn't know else how to fix the smoke alarms, open the doors, fan around.
Once the fire department got there, they found out which one was faulty, and it was the one at the top of the 20-foot ceiling.
Yeah, I had one of those fixed.
Oh boy!
I told Beaton, I'm like, tell your dad the only thing to do is to go through the house and replace every single one of them. Because once the first one fails, the second one's going to fail in about another month, and then another one's going to fail, and they all go off. One of them, they've got a shelf life, and just replace them all. Sucks, but you got to do it. That's what you do.
Do you want another good story, John?
Sure.
Soccer matches.
Mm-hmm.
How about the Hillsborough disaster?
What happened there?
There's a fatal crowd crush at a football match in Hillsborough Stadium in Sheffield, South Yorkshire, England on 15th of April, 1989. Your 40th birthday, right around there.
Right around.
It occurred during an FA Cup semifinal between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest in the standing-only central pens with Leppings Lane stand allocated to the Liverpool supporters.
Yeah.
This resulted in
Remember that.
overcrowding of those pens and a fatal crush with a total of 97 fatalities and 766 injuries. The disaster is the deadliest in British sporting history. 94 people died on that day. Wow. One more died in the hospital days later. 2 more suffered irreversible brain damage on the day and died in 1993 and 2021, respectively.
Once again, the visiting people were crushed in a certain area with no place to go, and these people who were standing near the front got crushed up in front. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, you just
I just told you what happened.
But I mean, these are back-to-back stories.
That's
crushing.
known as the Nottingham Forest incident, April 1989.
It's known as the Hillsborough disaster.
Well, yes, to the layman, but to those of us who follow such things.
So this doesn't concern you?
No, it does not.
Soccer fans can get quite rowdy.
They can.
Okay.
This is history would say that. You've already given me 2 examples, but I yet am not worried about tonight.
Will you be wearing suspenders and shaving your head?
Sure.
What color suspenders, John? What color laces in your Doc Martens are you going to be wearing?
Orange.
Have you ever owned Doc Martens?
No, I have not.
It's time to get some.
You're gonna get some Docs, baby. You can get them at the Hot Topic now. They're everywhere. Hell, you can get them at DSW.
Oh, there's a DSW in that mall right next to the stadium.
There
Be
you go.
perfect.
All right. Well, John is a big fan of international soccer. He's going to spend his entire day and night watching it. He's done a lot of research, deep dive into Denmark. You did some research.
Norway.
didn't you? Or Norway. You've done some research into Norway, didn't you?
They have one of the best strikers in the world, a young fellow by the name of Erling Haaland, Haaland. Apparently, he is a young superstar in the Premier League.
There is a question from Be Real that kind of brings all this back around. Is there part of you that wants to be crushed in the crowd?
Not by other guys, no.
Oh, what if you're in a very heavy female section?
Well,
Like there's like a group of women that are like heavy soccer supporters.
I think I'd have to meet them first, and then we can talk.
You have to meet them?
Yeah, not
Wait, you have to know them?
strangers, being crushed by strangers.
Oh, personality's a big part of it?
Sure.
What
Got to
do you-
make that
what do you-
connection, Fred.
What do you look for in someone crushing you?
Well, I would think they'd have to be attractive to my
No,
eye.
no, but you said you had to meet them.
Yeah. Talk to them. And they have to enjoy similar things. They have to enjoy sports, I would imagine, would be part of
For
it.
them to crush you?
Well, yeah, I don't just randomly go to a bar and, hook up and say, let's go back to my place and you can sit on me. No.
You were about to say sit on my face.
I was. I stopped.
And leave no space.
At the last second, I'm like, can I say that?
So there has to be a connection.
There has to be, yes.
Okay. You don't want to do it without
He's more of a romantic than I gave him credit for.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, he's like,
I think we've
They're
proven
like-
that.
wow, it's almost like we've met in another life. I know. It's just like we have so much in common. This is weird, isn't it? Yeah. Do you ever believe people are meant to meet each other sometimes? Like there's some force above us making this happen? Yeah. I know. Do you want to get naked and sit on my face?
Do you think your butt's big enough to where each cheek would cover each one of my ears?
Yeah. Leave it to you guys to cheapen all of this.
I want to be deafened.
I'm a Capricorn too. Oh my God. Really? You grew up like 4 doors down from me. How did we never meet? Oh my God. You know what? You looked familiar when I saw you. I love baseball too. Wait a second. Let me guess. You're a big Fred Lynn guy? Oh, me too.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to keep this going. You want to come back to my house and maybe have a drink, a cup of coffee? That's great. Then I'm thinking about your big fat ass sitting on me. Because we have this connection.
Every Hallmark movie on my television when I get home. This is it right here.
And then there's another like lady with a big butt, and he's like, you like sports? And she's like, no. And he's like, you ain't sitting on my face. Got news for you, sister. Not so fast. All right, very good. That is John's. We look forward to getting the video that Nick can put together. That will be very exciting.
Also exciting, Fred. Yesterday, I officially declared the end of yellow pollen season. It's all done. So much so that I power washed the deck. That was my afternoon yesterday. And when I say power, I mean railing, stairs, both sides, up high, down low, everything, because the yellow pollen is done. I made the decree. I said, it's time.
Oh, there's no evidence that it's over. This is just you declaring that it's over.
I said it's done.
I see.
And we're finally going to get it done.
So no more pollen on your deck from now on.
Midway through June, I said, that's enough. We're all done.
Okay.
Come on over. You can eat off that deck.
Well, that's exciting news. Yellow pollen season's over, and we can get about our business, and Hardy's got the cleanest deck in town.
Yeah, thanks. Do you think I do?
I don't know.
I know you're just kind of putting a button out and you want to get to break, but do you think maybe there's a chance I do have the cleanest deck?
Just certainly. I mean, you've badmouthed all your neighbors off the air. I'd assume that they haven't done anything.
You got that right.
Yeah, I mean,
Bunch of layabouts.
Yeah, sitting inside,
Sitting inside working.
watching their TVs and changing the channel an average of every 12 minutes.
Have you looked at neighbors' decks and went, you know
Yes.
what? I could do some.
Yes.
Have you made the call? Said, I'm
No,
here.
no.
I'll power wash it for you.
No. Sometimes I'll just go over and do it. I'll do it on the front steps across the street.
Yeah, you like stand and look out the window for a while and see. Okay, that guy's done it. That guy's done it.
I've looked at the steps across the street one day too many and just gone over and done it. I can't take it anymore.
Huh.
I've done that a couple of times.
And the scary thing is, your neighbors are probably used to it by now.
Yeah, they don't even raise an eyebrow.
Okay.
Have you ever been like checking out a neighbor's deck or like looking in their windows and had to hide because they came out?
No, that's only when I'm looking out my own window at the guy fixing the air conditioner.
Oh, okay.
And had to drop to the floor.
Okay.
That was just the one time.
Because I'm not making that up, is that Hardy does look out his window in his house to see what his neighbor's watching on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We will be back in just a moment. I swear to you, in just a moment.
More.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. What's going on, Hardy, in this crazy-ass world?
Not much. Do you want to start with your precious St. Louis Cardinals from last night, Fred?
Well, yeah. I mean, if we're going to just go...
That's a Redbird winner. That's a one-hitter. That's a shutout for Dustin May. Light up the night. Cardinals blank the San Diego Padres 3-0.
Yep.
That's a hell of a call.
Dustin.
Yeah, yeah, but believe it or not, they have good... they actually have good radio people in St. Louis.
Dustin May. He could
One
not have
hit.
been worse when he was here.
I know, and it's weird because his stuff is insane. Like, he throws super hard. He's a big guy. There's no reason that he shouldn't be better. I mean, he throws in the high 90s. He's, he pitched well for them, and there you go. And that's not a bad Padre team either.
I mean, I'm looking at it. 6 games, 1-4 with an ERA of almost 5.5. And he was terrible
when he was
here. Here. No, I'm saying here.
Yeah.
He was awful. And this wasn't like 3 years ago. This is like last August. Now he turns around. I think he had a perfect game in the 7th inning last night.
Yeah.
I think he retired the first 18 guys.
I watched the game.
And he was... sorry.
I was watching Cardinals Padres too. That's exactly what
I actually was watching the game.
And he was lights out. The Red Sox curse everyone who comes to play with this team, and it is as if when they leave, some veil of negativity has been lifted, and everyone can reach their true potential.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He's got a sub-4 ERA now.
Yeah.
So
I think he needed 101 pitches for the complete game last night.
remember your big Heim Bloom?
Yeah.
That he sucks and Heim Bloom's the worst?
Yeah.
Well, the St. Louis Cardinals currently are, if I could tell you, with Heim Bloom as their general manager, have a 2.5 game lead in the wild card, first seed in the wild card, ahead of teams like Philadelphia and San Diego and Chicago Cubs. Now, would you like to hear what their lineup is?
No.
Because
I really don't.
It could make you feel good about what their lineup is. You want to hear a lot of stars.
No.
That Heim Bloom, who's so terrible and did such a terrible job here, and now you've been giving Craig Breslow, who's so much better. Oh, Fred, you'll have fun with Heim Bloom. J.J. Weatherholt, who's going to win Rookie of the Year in the National League. Ivan Herrera, Burleson, Jordan Walker, who's actually good. Newt Barr, Mason Wynn, who can't hit. Crooks, the catcher, who I have know nothing about. Blaze Jordan, who they just called up.
He was it's a former Red Sox
former Red Sox that they got back that just crushes home runs. And Nathan Church, who's now their center fielder because they demoted Victor Scott III. So that's their lineup. I don't believe anyone in that lineup can be over the age of 25 unless Newt Barr is. Newt Barr's 28. So other than that, no one in that lineup could be over the age of 25. Herrera's 26. Okay, that's the second oldest guy in that lineup. 26 years old. Wynn's 24. I believe Jordan is 24. Yep. They're all 24. Let's see. Weatherholt's 22. Weatherholt's 23.
You figured it out.
That's
good for Chaim.
No, but John was just like, have fun with that.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, my mistake. I thought Chaim Bloom wasn't very good. And eggs on my face, it turns out ownership and the team president aren't very good.
He was given, Chaim Bloom was given the edict to improve the farm system, correct?
And to cut salary. Those were his two things.
Fine. And so he goes and he improves, takes the farm system and makes it one of the best farm systems in baseball, including this, and develops these guys to become major leaguers. Now, once they get to the major league, all hell breaks loose with these guys, but that's not Chaim Bloom's fault. He hasn't been in charge of developing them for a while. But he gets you, he gets you 3 positional players that are supposed to be positional players for you for 15 years. If you would have handled it differently, and you would have let him develop and then add a little bit, you'd be much better off than with Craig Breslow. Much better off. The return for the Devers trade, I can assure you, with Chaim Bloom. Look, the Cardinals are lucky and they're doing all this. And Chaim Bloom didn't trade for Walker and he drafted Weatherhole. I don't even think he drafted Weatherhole. But the thing is that you could have. He would have at least gotten a better return for Devers. Like he would have at least navigated decent players in return for Devers.
It's possible, but don't forget he's the guy who pulled the trigger on the Betts trade. The Mookie Betts trade was a spectacular failure. So, I mean, the knock on Bloom when he left was, yes, he followed the edict. He was hired. He was hired to cut salary and boost the farm system. He did both of those things. And there was about a 2 or 3. They ignored the major league roster under Bloom for about 3 or 4 years there. And fans got sick of it. Ownership got sick of it, even though he did exactly what he wanted them to do. The main problem with Bloom, according to ownership, was he had problems with trades. And the Betts thing is what you hold up and go, my God, look at that.
All right, yeah, he did a good job of getting rid of a guy that we weren't going to pay, but
exactly.
you still need to get something back.
And they got there's one guy left from the Betts trade, Connor Wong, who can't get off the bench. And they're trying to get rid of at the moment.
Yeah, the Betts trade was a disaster. I would say that the Devers trade made the team actively worse with the people they got back.
Comparatively speaking, true, because you had Verdugo, who played right field here for a while. Wong had himself a good year last year and the year before. They had pieces that came back in the Betts trade that actually contributed for a couple of years.
The Betts trade was bad, and he should have gotten premier talent in return, premier young talent in return, and I absolutely agree with you. But it was not to the degree that Devers, the players you got back for Devers were worse than replacement level players. In that, sure, you're worse by getting rid of Devers, but then if you just would have replaced Devers with anyone else that wasn't in that trade, you would have been better off than the people that you got in that trade.
Yeah.
Hicks is worse than a replacement player.
Harrison, who's pitching really well in Milwaukee, but couldn't get out of AAA for your team. And remember that kid, James Tibbs? He was a Florida State outfielder, first-round pick.
Yeah.
He's now that he's gone, and by the way, went to the Dodgers to get you Dustin May, is now hitting 300 with 15 homers at AAA for the Dodgers. So he's going to be
do the
up
research of everything Chaim Bloom got from the Red Sox this offseason and what they're doing now, because they're Blaze Jordan is one of them. Okay. I wanna know what they got for him. We met Blaze Jordan's family in the stands last night.
Blaze Bailey
is omitted.
They got Contreras. Wilson Contreras.
Yeah.
The Red Sox did. Red Sox sent Hunter Dobbins. You were talking about this guy, Yoker Fajardo, who is apparently very, very good.
He's also a bit of a bully. He got a big hardo.
And right-handed pitcher Blake Alta, who I've never heard of. And that's Boston got. The Sox got Wilson Contreras.
And they made one other trade, too.
I'm trying to see.
With the Cardinals.
But you won't find it.
No.
Oh, well, what was the other one?
They got Sonny Gray.
Blaze Jordan. They got the Red Sox traded Blaze Jordan to St. Louis for Steven Matz. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was now Matz is pitching in a mop-up role for Tampa.
Yeah, he was the one who lasted a third of an inning against Boston. Yeah, so. He did a lot of good. All right, anyway, thank you for leading with the Cardinals in a game that I watched because I feel very good about myself.
Yes, Red Sox back to work tonight. First to 3 against the Blue Jays. Peyton Tolley to the mound, so we got something to watch tonight.
I think I'm going on Thursday, the afternoon game.
Good. Businessman special.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Cape Verdeans all over Boston celebrating yesterday, even though they didn't win.
This is a win.
I mean, look, they're celebrating down to the right.
It's over. It is a win in every possible way for Cape Verde.
Except for score.
First ever World Cup game, a 0-0 draw with the European champion Spain.
Cape Verde making their World Cup debut.
Mm-hmm.
Played to a scoreless draw against Spain last night. Biggest shock upset of the tournament thus far. Also upsetting a friend of mine who had a very nice future on at least one goal being scored in each of the opening stage matches. And I think at least a goal had been scored in every single match up until last night.
Yeah, but that's what happens in these nutto 0-0 draws. I mean, anything goes.
Nobody scores.
No, I know. It's nuts.
That's what happens.
And then you just go bananas because you're like, I can't believe I'm witnessing this. No one's scoring. This is why you come to the game. To drop into a shell and not let anything through. Now, what are you trying to score? No. We're trying to get them not to score. So we're dropping everyone back.
It was remarkable. I saw the first half anyway. They had 10 guys inside their own penalty area to make sure that Spain had no room whatsoever to maneuver.
Because if you are them, you know that there's no way in hell that you can win a game against them. So all you can do is you're not going to score.
You're trying to keep the goal differential down.
Yes, and so that's what we talked about. Like, say, not even this game, but like any game.
Yeah.
If you score first, generally the team that scores first A wins, and B just drops into some kind of defensive shell. And I know it's the right thing to do, obviously, but then it's like dribbling it. You know, like the last 20 seconds of an NBA game, not even 10 seconds, where they'll dribble it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that the whole match. Just it is. Just like holding the ball.
I know. And after a while, you're like, I get the story, but I was kind of hoping Spain would score one to loosen that up a little bit.
Sure.
Spain hit like the crossbar, and the goalkeeper made a great save, and there's a little bit of luck involved, but nice. Congratulations. You stayed in it. You got a 0-0 tie, but after a while, this is not what the spirit of the game is.
Yeah, and so I know that baseball can be boring, and if you didn't grow up with it, maybe it is. Like, if you just didn't grow up with the game, I could see that it's like slow moving in a way, but at least in baseball, there's never just trying to end it, basically. Like, at least, so I'm trying to think of the most boring sport, right? So say baseball is the most boring sport. I can't think of many times in a game, because even if you bring in a positional pitcher to pitch, the other team's still trying to hit.
Yeah, you still have to put the ball over the plate. You're still trying to get a hit and not strike out. Sure.
Yeah,
nothing
I
this.
can't think of a situation where an individual at the plate, unless they were trying to bunt someone over or sacrifice, is actively trying to get out. That's kind of my point. It's just like you're actively trying not to score.
Yeah, but I think what is remarkable about it is the fact that this team from Cape Verde, it's not like these guys are really good, be on the lookout for them. Their goalkeeper is 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's played in Angola, Moldova, and Cyprus. He currently has no team. Their center back was relegated from a UAE Pro League last month. He's been playing in front of about 100 people. Another guy back on defense was invited to play for Cape Verde through LinkedIn, and he originally ignored the message because he didn't understand Portuguese. This is all from Tom Harris's article in The Athletic. So this group of ragtag Cape Verde players held Spain scoreless yesterday, and that is...
Well, you know how they did
win.
it is because they had that midfielder that came up on a motorcycle, and he was rum, and then the coach's daughter, she ended up being all good, so now she's playing for him.
I got you. Took me a minute, but I got it.
Where is Cape Verde?
Daughter, or I thought maybe like a stepdaughter,
or like his ex-wife's daughter.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where is Cape Verde? Do
Africa.
You know?
No one knows.
It's in Africa.
Is it in Africa, or is it off the coast of Africa? Come on, John.
Hurry, boys. She's waiting there for you.
All I know is Africa. All right? I don't know if it's an island off the west coast of Africa.
It is.
Okay. There you have it.
South or north?
I would say off the northwest coast of Africa.
Egypt style?
No, Egypt is northeast.
Oh, you're
Africa.
right. Oh, yeah. My bad. I was. Yep. My bad. Damn it.
You know what? Close to Senegal. How's that?
Oh, thank you. Well, that puts it right in perspective. All right. Well, I'm going to take my time and do the things I always said I do. You know?
Oh, okay.
Come on, baby.
I know.
I'm
You're
going
cooking.
1,000,000 miles an hour today.
You're cooking.
I'm cooking with gas. You brought up that Dustin May game, and I just went, here we go. I watched that thing. I watched that. I had that on the boob tube. Yeah. It took about 2 hours. It was fantastic. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. it got sold out. We're going to talk about this later in the show, but I did find this interesting if you're a fan of football or just like things that have gotten completely out of control. Brandon Sorsby, you'll remember he's the kid that was scheduled to play at Texas Tech, who had bet on $90,000 on Indiana football while he played in Indiana. And the NCAA said, well, that's a rule that can't be broken. I would prefer if you didn't bet on your own teams.
That's a pretty hard and fast one we got there.
I would say that's the rule that we kind of got to stick by. And the Texas Attorney General said, I'm going to put an injunction on this. I'm not going to allow you to punish him until there's been a court case and a ruling, which will just drag out for as long as it takes to have the kid play. The Big 12 said, okay, we're going to do something about this. I know the attorney generals in Oklahoma and some other places were going up against it, and it got sketchy enough where the kid said, I'm going to go into the supplemental draft. Now, the supplemental draft is essentially a bidding system, and you're allowed to use your picks. So an example used here is if the Steelers said, we want to use a third-round pick, and the Jets said, we want to use our third-round pick, the Jets would win because the Jets' third-round pick is higher. You're allowed to use picks that you've acquired from other teams. And then what happens is, of course, in next year's draft, you do not get the pick that you used on the kid.
Right.
Now, they say this kid, in retrospect, would have been the second quarterback taken in last year's draft. He would have been taken ahead of Ty Simpson. I don't know how much the gambling thing means to him. But I can say this. I don't know a way this doesn't make Texas Tech and the Texas Attorney General look like total pieces of garbage. They sat there and just said, we have no shame, no morals, nothing matters to us. You can literally do nothing to get to not play for our team. Our school is a junk firebomb piece of garbage. We have no moral code. And then the kid went, well, I don't know if I'm going to play or not. There seems to be a lot of noise around this. I'll just enter the supplemental draft.
Couple things at play here. First of all, Texas Tech, and they put out a video.
I saw it.
You saw that video. They're dressing it all up as we're all about the kids. We're just supporting the kids regardless. It was remarkable to watch the four of them because the president of the university, the athletic director, they all sat up there. There was no media questions. It was an employee interviewing them.
And it was just like super cash. Like they were like all casual.
Yeah.
And this idea, by the way, if this kid was the long snapper, he would have been off this team 10 seconds after this thing happened. It was such a posed BS thing about we need to get the kid help. Okay, here's how you get the kid help. How about this? You pay for him to go to a gambling addiction rehab, then you let him keep his scholarship and not play. There you go. Hey, you saved the kid. But him playing football, by no way, shape, or form. Again, I obviously have a lot of sympathy for people with chemical issues. I think that there's people that are more prone to them. I believe all these things. However, and I think that people should be given access to treatment, and that that amends can be made, and that you should have sympathy for people and give them a second chance. But that still all applies. But if I roll my car at 2:00 in the afternoon on my neighbor's driveway drunk, I need to be punished for that. They can't just say, I can't check myself into rehab and go, okay, like I went to rehab. You come out of your rehab and you go, okay, well, this is what you did. This is what the punishment for this is. Once you serve that punishment, then all is forgiven because you've done what needed to be done. You stepped up and you served the punishment. Just going, hey, we care about this kid and we want him to get better. Good. Then make him better. But he broke a rule, a very hard rule that is about the total existence of your sport, that the outcome is not predetermined, which is what you need, and tell the kid, that's great, but you're not allowed to play. It's certainly a year you're not allowed to play. You've lost a year of eligibility. You knew that. You knew it. And then you did it. Now, is your life over? No. You get help. You stop gambling. And like everyone else in the world, you pivot. What would have happened if your arm fell off? You'd have to pivot. We'll let you stay in school. Let you get your big Texas Tech degree.
The sad part about all of this is the NCAA tried and failed to stop this, and it took some creative legal maneuvering by the conference to get this done. Apparently, the conference, just a short story, the conference filed a federal injunction to prevent the local authorities, the Attorney General of Texas, for example, to prevent them from exercising their powers, which are written into the bylaws of the conference.
Not to get too in the weeds, but yes, the NCAA originally denied his request for reinstatement. The judge in Texas, he's the one who granted the injunction. He said, no, until this all plays out, you can still play. And then the Big 12 filed a lawsuit essentially saying this is all wrong. And that's where they've kind of thrown up.
We want our power to do it, and just the threat of that scared Texas Tech off.
No, it didn't scare Texas Tech off. It scared Sorby off.
Sorsby, yeah.
Sorsby.
Because he had to declare for the supplemental draft by the middle of next week, and legally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically the NCAA knows that they're in big trouble. All football is now is college football is just a worse, more lawless product than the NFL. At least in the NFL. Well, first of all, the NFL talent, obviously is miles better. The games are miles more entertaining. But then but at least if I sign a contract, I have to honor that contract. If there are rules that I just can't leave whenever I want. In college, you can leave whenever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can gamble on the games. There's nothing that they can't stop they can stop you from doing. It's just a worse, lawless form of football. It doesn't have any of the stuff anymore that made it special. And you could keep it by paying the players. That's not even the issue. But you got to put some rules in there about once you sign an NIL deal, you're at that school for a certain amount of time. You can't just leave whenever you want to leave. And when you break an NCAA rule, they have to be able to penalize you. Or else, what's the point? Not watching any college football. It's just garbage. It's crap. It's just a worse, more lawless NFL where you can do anything. There's no rules. Kids can transfer all over the place. I don't know how you can be a fan of a team anymore. Literally, say you were a North Carolina fan, literally, 45 transfers come to your program. Who now you're just rooting for the school? Just not even 2 years of having a guy, 3 years of having a guy. Come on.
In all sports, unfortunately, that's what it's come down to.
And not nearly as bad as in football.
No, because there are greater numbers. And the real kicker, real quick to all of this, is that Sorsby gets to keep his NIL money. Texas Tech is going to pay him out what they were going to pay him. And then he gets to go to the NFL and sign a contract with that league. So he double dips for 1 year.
They're filming the Summer I Turned Pretty movie in Plymouth. All right, I got to go.
for him. As a result, the race to make a deal for the future Hall of Famer is still on, with talks reaching an important stage with the draft right around the corner. At the World Cup, all 4 matches yesterday wound up in a draw. Cape Verde and powerhouse Spain played to a scoreless tie. Elsewhere, Iran and New Zealand tied at 2. Saudi Arabia and Uruguay and Belgium and Egypt both tied at 1. Norway faces Iraq in Foxborough at 6 p.m. tonight. And in college football news, after a lot of controversy, Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has decided to enter the NFL supplemental draft. He was originally given an injunction to play for Texas Tech despite violating a rule banning players from betting on games. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Vision. Boston Vision helped baseball legend David Ortiz get back to seeing 2020 again. They could do the same for you. See Big Like Poppy. Book your free evaluation at bostonvision.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports 98.5 to Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub.
It's never changed. It's never changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Only 10 hours, 54 minutes, and 12 seconds until John's watching World Cup soccer tonight, baby. There's a big rundown on TV. It's very exciting. Everyone's getting all ramped up about it. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. In fact, we're going to even have a guest today to talk about the World Cup. And for us laymen's. But a man who's not a layman, a man who lived a monk-like existence while he worked for ESPN is Skip Bayless. He would spend his weeks in Bristol, Connecticut in a small apartment. Before he would go to Bristol, Connecticut, he would go into New York City and he would buy 5 days worth of steamed broccoli and chicken. And he would put that in his refrigerator and those would be his only meals. He lived to work out and to come up with hot takes. How long was he on television? 20, was that an hour-long show or a half-an-hour-long show?
I don't know. I think it was an hour. But
okay, so he was on the air for 42 minutes of takes.
Yes.
He had to have 42 minutes of takes right there in the chamber, and it took him just a monk's existence to do so. But now he is back. He's one of the few people that's decided that video podcasting is the best way to keep his career alive, and he's doing it with his wonderful wife.
He is. It's Skip Bayless and Ernestine. They have their own intro, but I don't think it served them very well, so we gave them a new one role.
Okay.
The role of James Bond.
Oh, I wonder how many of the guys that used to play James Bond, Skip Bayless's wife, has had sexual interaction with, as was... You'll recall that what got us on this whole podcast and making fun of it is she asked Skip, or Skip asked her, what would be what's the list called where you can like have a hall pass?
Hall pass?
Your hall pass list, like where your spouse tells you you can go ahead and sleep with these famous people if you want to. And she was having trouble doing it because she had slept with so many of them already.
Yeah.
And if you see her, you can see why.
Yeah, I don't need a hall pass.
I don't need a hall pass, honey. I've done them all. From Rock Hudson to Liberace. I was a pretend girlfriend for everybody.
Idris Elba revealed that he was never in contention to play James Bond.
Okay, you'll know him from The Office and The Wire. He's a British African-American gentleman, or do you say, I don't know how he's a black British guy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you say it. Adam! This is where you need Adam. All right, here we go.
Idris Elba revealed that he was never in contention to play James Bond. Okay. Wow. I thought he would have been, all caps, the perfect Bond. Do you feel Amazon MGM made the right decision in not casting Idris Elba? She and I have talked about this before.
I think
we thought from the start
He
there.
was so good.
Yeah.
He's so perfect.
Yeah.
I also think Sterling K. Brown could be a great Bond.
I would agree. I would agree.
Oh, wow. It's like sitting next to two people that you want to pass out and leave.
You know, I wonder where Skip Bayless's support of a black James Bond comes from.
I still feel so deeply guilty about it. Evil, devious white people.
That was him watching Sinners.
Yeah,
and he couldn't enjoy the film because of the.
I've fought with all my might against racial injustice.
Yeah,
it's the movie Sinners, which, by the way, sucks. He saw that and he was going. This guy was alive during the Selma riots. This guy was alive like during the heyday of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Huey Newton. Like, he was around during these, you know, the riots in Detroit. He was around during all these things, but it took the movie Sinners from like 3 years ago to really clue him in what was going on.
See, I don't think Sinners sucks. I just think that it's a movie that you can enjoy as long as you're not just overcome with white guilt.
Bludgeoned and battered by white guilt.
Like Skip Bayless is.
I shouldn't have even said it sucks because it gets past the point. I can't sit through it. I've tried 3 times now to sit through it.
It's a vampire movie or a zombie movie. It's like, okay, it's fine. It's perfectly watchable.
But whether you think so or not, I got to tell you this. I was aware that black people had problems in this country before the movie Sinners came around.
Not Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I saw The Jeffersons.
They do a movie review here.
Not to mention Good Times.
And the Jeffersons had an interracial couple on The Jeffersons.
Yeah, and you know who didn't like the interracial couple? The black man.
Okay, so we've seen Sinners, and we know James Bond. This is them really helping out and doing a service, reviewing a film that nobody has seen. So this is good. This is them talking about, you know, what they were doing is they were preparing to go to bed and what movie they turned on.
Oh, the two of them going to bed. Well, I mean, you're not going to see much of that movie because you know, Skip is just like really letting her have it. You know,
Pound Town.
Yeah, like, I mean, you know Ernestines. Girls named Ernestine. They're loose as a goose.
All of a sudden, I see out of nowhere.
Is this really how it sounds? By the way,
No. I haven't affected this. This is the top quality sound we could get from the actual.
Put the microphone
podcast.
on the ceiling across the room.
So going through the guide, they're getting ready to go to bed, but there's a film.
All of a sudden, I see out of nowhere, Talladega Nights
One of our
is
favorite
about to start, and so I'm thinking, I don't know. And so I don't say anything to her, but I let it go. I let it play.
No, he lets it go. He just doesn't say anything to her, but he's like, ta-da.
Look, on its surface, Fred, it's not a great story. The way he tells the story of these two watching a movie, I defy you to tell me, walk away from it and say, you know what? It's just them about watching a movie, but the story, the way they tell it, you'll have your mind changed.
I put on Talladega Nights. I like the movie Talladega Nights. It's like Alzheimer's hour. Susie was good in the army.
It's like Stern doing his parents when he does both voices.
Yeah.
His mom and
What? I told him.
I told him to watch the Talladega. You told me what?
The what? The Talladega who?
And so I don't say anything to her, but I let it go. I let it play. It was on one of the movie channels, so it was about to start.
Yeah.
And we've seen it a number of times.
8,000 times, but we love it.
Well, how about you shut up?
She's half the podcast. Why don't you shut up, Fred? You can't. This is your show. Wallach, why don't you shut up? You can't. Well, why don't I shut up? I can't. It's the show. You can't ask Ernestine to shut up.
I wouldn't do well with Ernestine cohabitating with Ernestine. Not that I could get her, I know that. But her constant interruptions would be a bit of an issue.
We've seen it a number of times.
8,000 times, but we love it.
But never watched it carefully. You know? And so the opening scene is the birth scene where he's driving his SS-396 and she's in the back seat about to deliver. Jane Lynch. She looks great.
Yeah,
she looks very different in this. And to deliver the baby, she's about to go. And he gets it up to like 120 and just slams on the brakes.
Says, hang on. Then you just hear the baby. Yeah,
this is the part where you go, hey, gang, guess what? We're going to go to this resort where they have they give you a menu and you just circle what you want for every meal. Yeah, I've heard enough. Look, we're going to the Rainbow Pond. It's over here. It's called Shady Acres.
Imagine you get seated at their table and they tell you this story. For the
yeah.
This is the best version of the story, by the way, because this is on the show. The version you get at dinner may not be as good as this one.
And then the first scene, they goes 120, and
it's so funny. It's so funny.
He was 120. They hit the brake. That's the first scene.
I love hearing people like Ernestine talk about humor. I don't think Ernestine has ever laughed. You can kind of hear it in her voice and in her personality. She's never actually laughed out loud, but it's so funny. It's so funny.
It was the time I used my hand on Jerry Lewis.
The baby will just come out. But it's funny. And we started laughing from the first scene. And we stuck with it. Finally, I just had to go.
Oh, my God, the two of them.
This
is... Guys, tape this.
Will Ferrell reminds me of Douglas Fairbanks.
Do you remember the show Hotel? The key grip got me by behind.
Wow.
Get up to go to church, you know, like it was going to be. I just can't not sleep a little bit.
It was so good.
And we just kept watching, and we got near the end of it. And it was one of those. You ready to go? You ready to go? No.
You can't stop watching it, especially
because it's so hard.
It's so funny.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh God!
I mean,
it should be called Confused with Skip Bayless and Ernestine.
Yeah, here we go. No, we'll leave it on.
I guess we got to go to church. I got to get some kind of sleep. Now you leave it on. You can't turn it off. It's funny.
It's so funny.
Isn't it funny? We like the funny.
It's so funny. All right, so we've listened to podcasts before where the dog interrupts with the dog barking and they argue about the dog and there's back and forth. This is all about Hazel and the update on their dog, Hazel.
You can tell they're young by the use of the word Hazel in the house. Yeah. Named after John's favorite TV maid. Remember? Nope. You don't remember college when you guys used to have Hazel night and you guys would sit around and watch Hazel? All right, forget it. Who doesn't?
The star of the show is sitting, as we speak, in Ernestine's lap, kissing Ernestine on the chin.
Yeah, and that's, boy, that's Mike, our neighbor. Oh, boy.
That is Hazel. We start with a quick comment from Cruddy Mungus.
I like that.
Skip's dog is funnier than Saturday Night Live and more entertaining by a mile.
Well, when I go in the car, she has to drive. So if anybody watched Saturday Night Live with Mr. Bill,
that's
when
true. She
Mr.
drives
Bill
like
would drive
Mr.
the
Bill.
car, that is Hazel.
No, it's not Mr. Bill. It's
Toonsis.
Toonsis, the driving cat.
She doesn't. Well, they're confused. They're perpetually confused.
Mr. Bill is 70.
In vaudeville, there was a frog that they would let ride a horse.
Now, if you ever watch Saturday Night Live with the samurai, it's just like the samurai, the Hazel.
I always liked Cassell's Saturday Night. I always rooted for that one. I remember when Saturday night was your show of shows.
Your show.
And not the filth that they have on now. I remember being able to turn on and see the McCarthy hearings and saying, "Get them out of here!"
Hazel puts her two paws on the wheel, and she has to sit and drive the car. So she likes going in the car, so she could be on Saturday Night Live.
So, speaking of Hazel, we've just gone through another round of crisis with her health. And is she 10 or 9?
She's 9.
She's 9. Okay, she's 9.
She's never been sick. Hazel is very strong.
We've never even had a vet. We don't have children, so this one gets treated as if she were a child because she is our child.
So that's an important point. Number one, she's never been sick, even though she just went through a health crisis. Okay, so a health crisis, never been sick. We don't have a vet because we treat her as we would treat a child. As we all have children, the first thing you do is you refuse the pediatrician that they assign you at the birth hospital. You're like, no pediatrician. This is my child.
Yeah, and you haven't been listening to Rogan?
Right.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Don't let the man get his hands on your kid and put his funny chemicals in it, let alone your dog.
And she gets that kind of sort of care and feeding.
She's what grounds you. She's your therapy dog.
And so now you have to face the fact, the truth is you or I could be gone tomorrow, but she could be gone sooner than we're gone. The odds are that the periodic tables would tell you.
Yeah, this is going sideways a lot.
Well, hold on. They're going to get into some chemical discussion here. I think he means the actuarial tables. But, whatever. Mr. Bill, periodic tables. You just got words floating around in your head at this age, and you just spit them out.
Well, chloride, things like that.
Chloroform.
Whatever's on the periodic table. Nitrogen, hydrogen. These are on the periodic table, correct?
Yes, they are.
All right, we'll skip that.
Let me go.
He's when the dog is going to die.
Let me hear when the dog's going to die.
All right.
The periodic tables would tell you she won't last as long as we will, knock on wood, for everybody. So is it possible she would be gone at some point soon? Sure it is.
Maybe she's not.
Well, I'm just saying, but do you have to...
Well, I guess.
Do you have to prepare yourself so that you don't jump out the window?
I don't know, but I don't have my mother anymore, so my life changed drastically. So if I could live without my mother, I could live without anything.
All right, but
you try to live as long as you can if you want.
Well, I spent the hottest new show going right now.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I have a dog. I guess I should start preparing myself mentally now for when the dog is no longer with us.
Spend the weekend.
Skippy B, Ernestine, sitting on their couch podcasting. Skippy B, Ernestine, even though no one's listening.
About 20 views on each of those videos, according to Ryan Beaton, who sat through them all. Thank you, Ryan.
I have a friend in Atlanta that does a video podcast, and I'll look at it, and it'll been up for like a week, and he was a big deal in Atlanta, and 5 views.
Yeah.
And here we are. But they keep knocking them out. Just keep crowding the space, just with all your garbage. Just keep throwing it up there for no reason.
It's good stuff.
Okay, so yesterday we had a guest on who believed that some big things were coming for the Celtics, that the roster certainly won't be the same, and maybe that it's time. Brad Stevens thinks it's time to shuffle things up in a major way. Giannis is someone who's being thrown around. That name's being thrown around a lot nationally. John Corrales has his own opinions on that whole affair. We'll talk to him in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, this time of year, if you're going around the outside of your house, you might be spotting things that happened over the winter. Now is the time to get them fixed. Don't put it off. Call Beantown. No longer Beantown.
into parts to a different team.
I believe that's Kevin O'Connor yesterday from our show. Kevin O'Connor, very big on the Celtics making a big move this offseason, including a move for Giannis that would involve Jaylen Brown. A third team would have to be involved in that because obviously Milwaukee doesn't want Jaylen Brown. They want future assets and younger players. So a bunch of 3-team deals have been floated out there, including on Sports Illustrated. John Corrales is the Celtics beat writer for Sports Illustrated. He joins us. John, hello.
Hello.
Nice to talk to you. So first of all, do you think the Celtics are looking to move Jaylen Brown?
I don't think that's the right way to phrase it. I think they're willing to include Jaylen Brown in the right deal. I don't think they're looking to move Jaylen Brown. And I think there's two distinct things that, and I think that means something because I think the Celtics want to make their team better. And if that's Giannis, then if they believe that Giannis is going to stay healthy enough to contribute for 70-plus games in a full playoff run, then they'd be willing to do that. But I don't think this is a case of where Jaylen is done in Boston no matter what, and they're just shopping him. I think that's a little bit overblown.
Okay, do you think Jaylen wants to be on the Celtics anymore?
I think so. I mean, he's explicitly said so on his live stream. He said, I would stay in Boston for the rest of my career. So I know guys will say things, but I do tend to look at saying things that you don't have to say, and he didn't have to say that. So I think that he's, at the very least, he's okay with the idea. I don't know if that was overblown too, but I think that Jaylen still wants to be here. He still wants to be part of a champion. So I don't think that he's itching to go somewhere else. So I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it. I haven't had any sort of inkling that he's just like done in Boston. So I would expect him, if there's no trade, I would expect him to be back.
Listing Boston as a possible destination for Giannis is kind of odd, John, because Brad Stevens usually works in secret. He usually doesn't have the Celtic name out there as interested in certain players.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the crux. I am definitely one of the skeptics when it comes to the Giannis rumors. I feel like this is a case of another team wants to up the offer. Somehow Milwaukee needs to get it out there that what Miami is offering isn't enough. So Miami needs to do some work. Either they have things that they're not including that they need to, or there's a third team that has to be involved, and the Bucks have to get something else somewhere in this deal. I think this deal comes down to draft capital. And right now, what Miami has that Boston doesn't is the 13th pick in the draft. They have a lottery pick. And the Celtics have Jaylen Brown, who would then have to be flipped for more picks. And so I feel like just following what makes sense, it makes more sense to me that someone on the Milwaukee side is trying to get other teams to pump up whatever they're offering, and they need Boston to be involved. They need Boston's interest to feel real. It may be real, and may be real to a certain point. I think some of this is a little much. That's my opinion. So yeah, I don't think that Brad, I don't think the front office is out there kind of advertising this, because quite honestly, guys, I don't understand what the advantage is to Boston doing that. What do they gain out of advertising? Hey, we want Giannis. They're supposed to operate in secret so they can steal Giannis if they really want him.
Yeah. John, this is a little confusing to me because it wasn't all that long ago. We were all wringing our hands about, the NBA and the way the salary cap is structured now, and you weren't going to be able to have two big players on your team anymore. Forget about the days of having the big three. That's done. You're not even going to be able to have two. And up until about a year ago, I'd say, well, they're not going to be able to keep both Tatum and Brown. Now, that seems to be a foregone conclusion. Oh, yeah, Tatum and Brown can both still play here. As a matter of fact, if you really wanted to upgrade even a little bit, if you view it that, you could swap out Brown for Giannis. So how's the narrative changed all that much, or has it not, and people are just not doing the math and understanding that this wouldn't really work?
The math part of it is what the Celtics did at the end of at the trade deadline last year to get themselves under the tax. It does allow, in certain circumstances, it's not about having the two max contracts necessarily. If you can get good enough players who make enough, to kind of make up for that difference, right? So what OKC is up against is all of their top players, all of their role players are making a ton of money. What the Celtics have been able to do is you've got Jalen and Jason. You get Derek, which kind of like is, right on the edge of the most you can make. But mixed into all of what I've been talking about this offseason is you probably have to move Sam Hauser because he makes almost $11 million. And moving him for nothing, a draft pick or something, allows them to go out and add a couple of other pieces. You need, I think, a lot of contributors like Nemish Queta, Baylor Shireman, Jordan Walsh, all of those guys on minimum contracts. That's where the balance is on the Celtics roster. It's a unique kind of thing to Boston in this moment where a bunch of guys that help them make minimums or close to that, and that kind of offsets the average salary is right where it needs to be. So they can swap Jalen for Giannis, and it's okay. You can't do the Jalen, Giannis, and Jason plan that some people are talking about because now you're way back deep into the tax, and that team gets super, super expensive. And that team, maybe you do 1 year of that, and then you'd have to break it up again like they did last year.
Would you be very surprised if the Celtics, Brad Stevens, just decided to run it back while picking around the edges and getting a different center other than Nemish Queta?
I wouldn't be that surprised by that. At this point, I think we've all been conditioned by all the rumors to be shocked by it. But I went into the offseason thinking that was the plan. Brad Stevens explicitly said in his postgame press conference, not related to an answer, he just kind of threw this in at the end of an answer, where he said, I'll paraphrase, I know how good we are when we're whole. And he specifically said, we just need to get better around the margins. So, again, I'm taking things at face value, and we know what that does in sports. So that could just have been something, and things could have changed. He could have been speaking, just to appease people. But I know what's been said, and I know that now we're talking about rumors. I still think that a plan where you use your full mid-level exception, $15 million, to go out and get an Anthony Simons, Kobe White type, and then moving Hauser to clear up a little bit of money, taking the traded player exception into the season, seeing what happens in the post-Giannis mess, seeing what happens in some of the other things that are happening around with OKC and other teams around the league, and taking it to the trade deadline and acquiring somebody else that helps after seeing how what you've done this summer fits. I think that plan makes sense to me. And if you look at what the New York Knicks just did, the Knicks took the entire season, literally the entire season, to figure themselves out, and things snapped together in the first round of the playoffs. The Celtics have a lot of time to do this and figure it out. They can do it. They've won a championship with Jalen and Jason, but they do need the right help around those guys. And that, I think, is what Brad Stevens went into this summer trying to do, trying to find the right help around those guys. So if that's how it goes, I think that was originally the plan all along.
All right, let's say you're right. Let's say that Brad Stevens does pick around the edges and keeps Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I understand we got a long way to go, free agency, the draft. But as we sit here right now, if Brad Stevens follows that plan, are the Celtics a threat to go to the NBA Finals next year?
Sure they are. Of course they are. They have two of the best players in the league. They have Jaylen Brown, who just was the second-team All-NBA guy, and a fully healthy Jason Tatum from the start of the season. So that alone, you have two All-NBA players on a single roster. That makes any NBA team a threat to go to the finals. Look at what the Knicks are. No one on the Knicks even gotten a single MVP vote. You know what I mean? So you can put a team together in today's NBA that has that makeup and has its, has a chance. I think the Celtics, people kind of forget because of how the Sixers series went. Totally understand that. But with Jason Tatum back, Derek White goes back into a normal kind of third role, catch and shoot first, primarily kind of guy. I think you look at some of the internal improvement that we got to see. That's part of the wait and see type of thing. I think you have improvement internally that can really fuel some of this, and they have tools and a good front office to figure out how to add to that. What was missing in the playoffs last year was a fully healthy Jason Tatum. We knew that the knee was bothering him and that he was about 80% of who he was. And B, solid role players, the guys that came in like an OG Anunoby and a Landry Shamet and those guys around the edges that helped the Knicks win a championship. You got to watch what the role players did along the way as teams win championships. So that's where the Celtics, what they were missing. If they can get that kind of stuff, that just enhances what Jalen and Jason can do when it matters.
All right, well, John Corrales, everyone's got a different opinion, even the people that cover the team. It's exciting. Some people think they need to make the Giannis move. Some people think it's a bad idea. Every opinion is being said on this show, and that's what's so beautiful about it, really. John Corrales, read him, writes about the Celtics for Sports Illustrated. Thank you, John.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
All right, we appreciate it. Yesterday, the announcement that Eddie Andelman had died happened, and I talked to Michael Andelman, and I have a piece of audio that he gave me that I think is pretty funny, and that his father would want played on the air. So we'll have that for you in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox had last night.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and Eddie Andelman, who is a pioneering sports radio voice in Boston. So much so he was credited nationally with helping grow the whole format.
It may not exist if it were not for Eddie Endelman in this area anyway.
Right.
That's how popular he was.
And so he died at 89, and it's pretty cool that his death has brought out all these stories, multiple stories in the Boston Globe, a lot of love for the guy, and that's got to make you feel good. I mean, obviously he has a huge legacy, and I'm friends with his son, Michael Andelman. And I texted him and I said, hey, sorry about your dad, but he's getting a lot of love. That's kind of cool. And he said, he goes, thanks for the kind words. This is the hardest I've ever heard my dad laugh. Wrestler Killer Kowalski telling a story of a 600-pound wrestler trying to use the bathroom on a plane trip to Japan. So when someone passes away and their son, one of their surviving sons, tells you, so I listened to it, and it's funny. So in honor of Eddie Andelman, who we can credit for maybe even having our jobs, having this all happen in Boston, this is, and for those of you who think that we're silly, this is how Eddie Andelman's son wants him to be memorialized on our show.
Yeah. And I've heard the name Killer Kowalski before. Yeah. I didn't know it was an actual person, much less a person who went on the radio with Eddie Andelman back in the day.
Eddie was the original wrestling guy with Kowloon. He knew about the Kowloon tie and all that. That was Eddie.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Killer Kowalski or Kowalski.
Yeah.
Telling a story about a 600-pound wrestler. All right. So I'll just let it play.
But my first trip to Japan, Haystack Calhoun was on the trip.
What did he weigh?
He weighed 600 pounds, and he was big around. I mean, he was just big, super big. Well, at that time, it was 1964, 63. They had 707s that were flying. They don't have the big jumbo jets they have now. And just imagine the trip, how long it was. You're spending hours and hours and hours and hours, and I mean hours on top of hours on a plane, and you have to go to the bathroom. Can you imagine this here guy? He had to go to the bathroom, Haystack Calhoun. You've been on a plane before. Many people have been on a plane before. The doorway to the bathroom on a plane can't be more than a foot wide. So how is this here big hulk, 600 pounds, that must have been 4 feet wide, can get into this here bathroom?
He had to have good aim, I'll tell you that.
It was a problem. And he had to go big. I mean, he had to go big to the bathroom. This guy only goes once a week anyway, and this was the week. This was the day of the week he had to go. So what happened? What actually happened? The stewardess got panicky. So he went over and asked the captain. Says, "Hey, look, we got a problem here." So he says, "Well, the only thing to do is empty out a mailbag." In the back of the plane, also in the back. Wait a minute. Let me finish the story. Also in the back of the plane was the kitchen, right? Or what do they call it? The galley. The galley was also with the galley. With the galley was also the bathrooms in the back. So he said, have him empty the mailbag out, have him get the mailbag. So to do that, he had to take all his clothes off. So you had to take two wrestlers volunteered, quiet, two wrestlers volunteered to hold up the blanket while he's in there by himself in the galley, naturally. So he took all his clothes off. He stepped to the mail sack to go. Well, imagine that this guy, like I mentioned, the guy goes once a week or something like that. And when he went, my goodness, that's the smell. All the people from the back of the plane came to the front of the plane.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
Yes, it was a bit of a problem, I'll tell you that. So they finally mailed the refuse. They mailed that to the wrestling promoter. He did get rid of it.
So they were talking about farts and poo, even at the very precipice of sports talk radio.
It's good that Michael Endelman's a P1. He knew exactly what clip to send you.
Well, he says, and it shows the guy had a great sense of humor. He sent it and he said, "This is the hardest my dad's ever laughed." And he didn't say like, "Hey, play it." And I said, "Hey, I'm going to play this." And he said, he says, "Oh, great, yeah, play it. It's the hardest my dad ever laughed." And I do like that Eddie Andelman is being remembered fondly, and I do like that that his life is being celebrated. That is fantastic for everyone. So our condolences to the Andelman family. But what a well-lived life, and it's great that he's getting this kind of praise and attention. That's all you can ask for, Hardy.
Yeah.
At this time.
And the fact that it's not just like a mention of Eddie Andelman now, his name gets brought up still regularly enough. People still talk about the sports huddle. They still talk about, the beginnings of this thing that, we're all doing now. And it's not just every once in a while thing. It's often enough to where I don't think he ever really left the conversation. Eddie Andelman was still always a part of it because that's how it started. 1969.
266-1100. I still remember the phone number. I used to listen every Sunday night. WHD.
Don't insult the man by saying you were a P1. So, but we were talking about trying to figure out the hot dog safari like 2 weeks ago. I didn't know Eddie was going to die.
That's right. We talked about Eddie Andelman on this show a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. So there you go. I mean, that is, it's nice to be remembered. And so, again, our best to the Andelman family, but what a career, and what a very nice article by Chad Finn in the Globe, everyone being very nice. So that was our little tribute to him. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Nicholas has finally done some legwork and trying to find out what's wrong with him and all his things that he does that are disgusting and wrong. So we will find all that out in just a moment with a real doctor, real guy.
It's pretty rare.
We'll be right back.
falling Red Sox had last night off. They'll pitch Peyton Tolley tonight as they open up a 3-game series against Toronto at Fenway Park. Sox are currently 11 games under 500 and 3 games behind Baltimore for second to last in the division. ESPN and others are reporting this morning that Giannis Antetokounmpo is focused on playing in Miami next year, but the Heat's proposed trade package to Milwaukee isn't exciting the Bucks too much. As a result, the race to make the deal for the future Hall of Famer is still wide open. At the World Cup, all 4 matches yesterday wound up in a draw. The most shocking was the first one of the day. Cape Verde and powerhouse Spain played to a scoreless tie. Elsewhere, Iran and New Zealand tied at 2. Saudi Arabia and Uruguay and Belgium and Egypt both tied at 1. Norway faces Iraq and Foxborough at 6 p.m. tonight. The Chicago Bulls have hired former Portland interim head coach Thiago Splitter. And in college football news, after a lot of controversy, Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has decided to enter the NFL supplemental draft. He was originally given an injunction to play for Texas Tech despite violating a rule banning players from betting on games. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Visit the Nines this Father's Day weekend for menu specials Dad will love, like the new 18-ounce T-bone steak or their famous colossal lobster roll. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
And we're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
We got these. We heard about this study being done at the University of Maryland. Thank you, University of Maryland, where a real doctor, a real scientist, studying real things for the good of humanity, finally created a monitor that can pick up farce and see how often someone's.
That's the scientific pronunciation, farce.
Yeah, it's
a soft T.
Yeah, it's that region of the world where that happens, and they go farce. It's a farce. So anyway, Nicholas has got his fart monitor, and Adolfo has agreed to get his fart monitor. And Nick says he mailed the fart monitor to Adolfo, and I said, "Where's the tracking number? What's the tracking number?" And he said there is no tracking number. So Nick mailed out something, but he passed the buck. He gave it to someone else to mail to Adolfo. So we don't really know if Adolfo's going to get it. Because they did one of the tracking, the options where you can't track the package. But then Nick had this whole convoluted thing that he started babbling about that I didn't want to hear.
Well, there was you can still track it even when there's no tracking. Is what Nick tried to.
So
tell
you can
us.
you can randomly search for any package that's in the mail, and they'll tell you when it's coming, based on what?
Instagram.
Yeah, like it was just, it made no sense what he was saying. But one thing that has come out of this, I highly doubt Adolfo's getting this fart monitor, by the way. I just want that on the record. Like that this was shipped in the mail to an address that Adolfo gave them is just, it sounds like to me it's never happening. Because at least if there was a tracking number, you would see where it was delivered to. But now it's just in the air, going to I don't know where.
Thousands of miles away to going to Texas.
Yeah. I mean, I can't recall the last time I mailed a package without a tracking number. And I mail packages, say, 10 times a year. Like I'll sell something on eBay, I'll mail a gift to my parents. I just don't know how you mail a package without a tracking number.
Oh. If Adolfo ever gets it, one of his jobs, like Nicholas's job, will be to track everything that he eats. And Nicholas said this might be a problem.
Right. And so I want to play the actual audio of Nicholas saying it because it shows you just how organically this came up on the air. Part of the fart monitor process is you have to take pictures of your food and send it to this app because they want to track what makes people fart. It's real science. And here's what Nick had to say. It's 2 minutes.
Do you want me to start wearing it now?
No.
Okay.
No.
They said you have to wait till Adolfo gets it.
You have really no background in science. That would be asinine to have you start wearing it before Adolfo. So you only wear it for 3 days. So there's very little wiggle room in terms of what we can do. But post wearing it, you complete a final survey.
Oh,
so just know that's on the agenda, Nicholas.
Okay.
You'll be forced to write, and I'm excited that you're gonna have to take a picture of your food.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're not excited about that?
I'm not excited about that.
If you took pictures of your food yesterday, what would you have taken pictures of?
Yesterday, I don't really remember. I do remember.
Nick, you remember what you eat if you could think about it.
Well, listen, I do remember. Well, I didn't remember actually eating I was told by my wife eating 3 sub rolls and a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch overnight in my sleep. So
whoa.
Yeah.
When was this?
Last week.
Okay, whoa. How come you never mentioned this? You're becoming a little Adolfo-ish in your old age. All right, so your wife told you.
Yes.
She said, Nick, you won't believe it. Last night, what was going on? You ate 3 sub rolls in a whole box of...
Well, she was pissed because the day before she bought those sub rolls for dinner. We were making like meatball subs.
You were
or
having
something.
bread.
And apparently, I ate the sub rolls before we even had that planned dinner, and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which she bought for herself.
Okay, so you ate it all in one night while you were asleep?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Do you do that? Do you sleepwalk?
I eat a lot.
So do you take Ambien or something?
No.
All right, so Nick, a couple days a week, he will get up and he will go down to the kitchen and he'll eat. And then when he tells the story, he'll throw in a bunch of stuff that's of no interest to anyone. But here is Nicholas. Let's get Nicholas in here because Nicholas has found a doctor, which requires... yeah.
He knew he was coming. This has been scheduled.
I still don't see him. Where is he?
Day.
Where is he? Oh, there he is.
He's moving as quick as he can, John. Don't be cruel.
My bad.
He's not going to beat the trombone.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Oh,
boy.
Come on, Nick.
Look at those shorts. They're just begging for mercy. If you touch the side seam of those shorts with a spoon right now, it would pop open like a Pillsbury crescent roll can.
That's not nice.
He's already self-conscious.
What are you
doing?
Nick, why are you bringing all the boys to the yard?
That's not nice.
What? I said you're bringing the boys to the yard.
I know what you're implying.
Implying that you look nice.
Oh, thank you.
We like your short shorts. You're very popular on the yard. People would trade a lot of cigarettes.
You got a big tick bite on your thigh? Oh, that thing must be the size of a softball, wherever.
Oh, Lyme disease can't survive in his body. Lyme disease is no match for what he's got going on. Jesus. All right, so Nick, put your headphones on.
I won't look at you anymore.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, you're getting all riled up. All right, so you found it. You had never gone to a doctor about this.
No.
We talked to your wife, and she said that it never even occurred to her to get a doctor.
No, because we don't think it's weird. Or we now think it's weird.
All right, I'm going to need Ryan to pick up the phone. So you found this doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, this doctor has been on the show before when we were talking about...
It doesn't really matter, but he's been on the show before. His name is Dr. Dennis Tehan?
Tehan, I believe.
He's an MD, MPH?
I don't know what that is.
Is in PCP with Beth Israel Leahy Network.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yes. I remember talking with Dr. Tian before.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Well, we have him on the phone. Dr. Tian? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, it is. How you guys doing today? Good morning.
Good morning. It's nice to talk to you. Okay, so how much has Nicholas told you about his condition?
Only what I've heard on the radio from listening.
Okay, so this is we're really starting at ground zero here. Are you familiar at all with Nick's past medical history? And we really don't have time to go through it all, but do you have a general idea of what he's been through already?
To be honest with you, I really don't. I know I heard some stuff on the show, but I haven't really.
Let me give you a quick rundown. Don't let Nick do it because you'll be here all day. Long story short, goes to a bachelor party in Texas, comes back 2 days later. His girlfriend at the time comes into the house. Here's moaning and groaning. Where's Nick? I couldn't get in touch with him. She opens the door. Nick is naked, covered in his own pee and poo, rolling around. They air flight him out to some real hospital because he lives in the middle of nowhere. And now he's got some plastic stuff in his ticker. And he's being monitored on a regular basis by medicine doctors.
And he had a stroke. Some years later.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, we're talking about the pee and the poo one. So what he does,
let's focus on that.
Dr. Tian, is now this is absolutely true. None of this is exaggerated for the air. This has been established with his wife. Nick didn't bring this up because he goes, "Hey guys, content." He hid this for years and years. But for the last few years, twice a week he's getting up, going down to the kitchen, and eating food, sometimes a lot of food. He goes back into bed, goes back to sleep. He wakes up with no recollection of doing it. To him and this is again a couple days a week. The only thing that seems to have bothered him or anyone else in his family is that the food's gone. No one is particularly concerned about him not remembering things he's doing in the middle of the night, but
concerned about the absence of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Right, more than anything, as you heard in the original story. What do you think about Nick getting up a couple nights a week and going downstairs and eating and having no recollection of it?
Well, first of all, I'm just trying to figure out how someone could eat an entire box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch in any situation. That's unbelievable. But actually, what he's describing is not that uncommon. It's a described, well-known sleep disorder called sleep-related eating disorder. And it kind of falls into the same category as things like sleepwalking, sleep talking, night terrors. They're called parasomnias. There are about 7 or 8 of them. And the way that they happen is that when you go from wakefulness to non-REM sleep to REM sleep, it requires a very coordinated process, like a sleep architecture. And for some reason, there's some disruption in that architecture in people like Nick. And what happens is one part of the brain, in very simplified terms, stays turned on.
That's about his brain, very simplified.
Yeah, simple as can be, in fact. Yes. One part of the brain stays turned on, and the other is off. And so you'll get things like people will sleepwalk. They will walk, sometimes walk down the stairs, walk out in the street, those kind of things. So this does happen sometimes with people.
Okay, so it seems like this is more common, or people experience this in childhood. Is this something more common in developing brains? Is that why kids tend to sleepwalk more than adults?
It can happen at any time in life, and it can be. That is an important question. Is this something that's been happening for a long time, or is this something that has changed recently? And a lot of times the problem is just like a primary parasomnia, meaning that this is just some kind of distortion that he has with the sleep architecture. But then there are a lot of times where this can be brought out or elicited by things like sleep apnea or poor sleep hygiene, stress, medications, other sleep disorders. So I think that, that's a critical question, is like, how long has this been going on for?
Talk to me about sleep hygiene, if you would, please, Dr. Tian. What would be an example of bad sleep hygiene?
Well, bathing in your own poo and pee, probably.
Sleeping in a pool of your own excrement.
That's bad, right?
That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost as bad for your health as eating an entire box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay. But what is sleep hygiene? What does that mean?
So basically, that's practicing good regular sleep, like going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, not using your phone or watching too much television too close to sleep, sleeping in a good environment. The things that we're all hypocrites about, frankly, but it is super important, and it's something as simple as bad sleep deprivation. I forget if Nick has kids, but if the kids are waking you up, he has to be up early every day for the show. Maybe he's not getting enough sleep. That alone could trigger something like this.
Okay, so, but what about his indifference and the family's indifference to it, and not, because it seems to me, you mentioned, walking outside. At what point would a normal patient go, oh, I'm doing things that I don't remember? This is odd. Maybe I should look into it. That seems like something most people would go to a doctor for, right? Because it sounds like it could be dangerous.
10,000%, this is something that you should go to a doctor for. This requires a thorough medical evaluation, really like a proper medical history. Nick needs to go see a doctor. I'd be happy to see him if he does not have a doctor. Go through the whole history. And there are some rare instances, and I don't think Nick's story really fits well with this, but sometimes these things can be rarely reflective of other neurological problems. So a thorough history, going through everything, and then a sleep test is going to be super important. Just, they can do them at home now, so you can get the kit mailed to you, and just do a sleep test and make sure, see if you have sleep apnea, try and improve the sleep hygiene, right? And see if this gets better over the next few months. And then if it doesn't, he should see a specialist.
So Nick is suffering from a sleep-related eating disorder, or SLED, as we call it on the streets. Are there support groups? Are there other things that maybe he can be looking into on his own, because the chances of him actually going to see you or any other physician are remote?
I'm not aware. I'm sure there are. There's support groups for everything these days, so I'm sure there are, but I'm not aware of any specifically.
You're on your own, Nick, unless you go see Dr. Tian or someone else.
I'll go see Dr. Tian. I have no problem going to Dr. Tian.
We will send you a home kit, and we will get to the bottom of this and figure out if you have sleep apnea. We have a saying in medicine: common things happen commonly, right? Tens of millions of people in this country have sleep apnea and don't know it, so that's my bet.
Well, listen, I have done a sleep study, and it came out that I had sleep apnea, and since then I've done nothing about it. But listen.
Well, you returned that gear, didn't you? You set it outside the stoop of the place you picked it up from?
The weirdo place that I picked it up from, yes. And the weird, did they open a door and look both ways and grab it from you and then shut the door behind them? It's the weirdest place on the planet. It felt like I was buying a brick of heroin. All right. Well, listen. That's neither here nor there.
Just one more thing. You see patients in your primary care practice. Do you have patients that will come in once every year or two and then unload something on you and say, "Wow, you should have told me about this earlier"? Or are most of your patients pretty good about communicating things like, I don't know, getting up twice a week to eating a fridge full of food?
Well, yes, 100%. People will just come in and dump things, or they'll book a physical and they'll come in and with a laundry list of 10 complaints. Very common. So we try to go through everything. There's only so much we can accomplish at one point. But yeah, it's very common for people to come in with things just completely out of left field like this. And this is something that can be treated and easily managed, but it just requires coming in, frankly.
All right. Yeah. Well,
wait. How do you treat it?
You strap you down.
Hide the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
All right. Well, listen, there's so many things wrong with Nick. It's really fun. He's got so many neurological disorders.
My wife did start hiding food away from me, so
there
you go. In the mail.
Well, then her food doesn't go away, and that solves everything.
Well, it's not her food. It's the family's
food.
the
food she doesn't want you to eat stays put.
Are you putting names on your food? Do you and your wife live like college roommates?
No.
Is there a lock on the refrigerator,
yet.
Nick?
Do you mark things with crayon? Are you painting on the walls?
No.
Very good.
No.
All right. Dr. Tian, thank you. And maybe Nick will go see you. I doubt it, because he doesn't follow through with much, and he mails things without tracking numbers on it.
Is that all right if we refer to you from this point going forward as Toucher and Hardy medical correspondent?
Absolutely. Friend of the show, love the show, and always happy to help, boys.
All right, thank you, Dr. Tian.
Medical correspondent.
Medical correspondent.
Toucher
We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We will. That's good to have in our back pocket as we move on.
I'll go see him.
Well, when he said it was common, you got pretty excited, but then you got less excited when you said that it was when he said it's a neurological disorder.
Yeah, it's scary, but yeah.
How many things do you have wrong with you?
So I have the heart.
One.
I've had maybe 2 or 3 strokes.
Let's just keep that at 2.
Okay. Just stroking.
Yeah, just stroking.
You got the heart, you got the stroking.
Yeah. Now, the strokes, it's blood not getting to your brain?
Right, yeah.
Okay, because, you lose half your body. Are they afraid you're going to end up in a wheelchair?
So, in 2018, it happened while all the heart stuff was happening. And then in 2022, I don't think you were working that day. This whole hand.
No, I heard. Yeah. I know I was working.
I couldn't move it. Nothing. It was just just like that. And the doctor actually told me, like, there's a chance that it might not come back. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, well, no. And I tried, it came back, obviously, but it was very...
well, obviously.
Good work.
So what is happening? Why is blood not getting to your brain?
It has to do with me not taking enough blood thinners. I have to take blood thinners for the rest of my life because
Right.
of the mechanical heart valve
Right.
in my chest.
Do you forget to take them?
I try not to, but there's been times, yeah.
Yeah, Nick, you're going to end up paralyzed.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah. So take the blood thinner.
So I have to go to the doctors every month to get my blood drawn to see where my range is,
Yeah.
like my thickness of blood. If
Yeah.
it's too low, then they up the dose. So
What about, can you strengthen your heart through exercise? Do they suggest that?
yeah.
Oh,
They do.
Nick.
They actually did not give me like a diet to follow or any. The only thing they said was don't like power lift or anything. That was the only thing. Other than that,
because because of the because of the stress and that it puts on the heart. I understand.
Which is ironic because you kind of have a power lifter body.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, squat, compact.
Yeah.
Squat.
So, you don't want to be paralyzed. I would think that would be the ultimate motivation to like start moving.
Yeah.
You'd think.
Yeah.
Because I smoked for years, and if you went, oh, well, people get lung cancer, you're like, that's in theory. Like, yeah, you could, but you also couldn't, right? But if you have a stroke,
If you had 2 or 3, like small bouts of lung cancer, I'm going to
even go a step
Nick had
further.
2 or 3 strokes.
I'll even go a step further. If you told me I could get paralyzed by smoking, and that it would happen suddenly, I would quit smoking immediately, let alone have one of the things that causes paralysis. That's the scary thing about a stroke, is that you can get a stroke and end up really just completely out of it. You don't want strokes. Nicholas?
No.
You got to get yourself together here,
I know.
son.
I know.
I tease you, but I'm serious about this one.
It's just a hard time right now because
I know, but you're of no use to anyone if you are not moving.
I know.
And you got to be taking care of yourself. You got to take those blood thinners and you got to move around.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
All right.
Strengthen your heart. That's rule number 1. And then always get a tracking number. That's number 2. Because I have my doubts that he's going to get that. All right, bye.
Okay.
Exit music.
Who are you texting? Don't know how you just do it right on the air. Oh, kid. Now, you got one stroke. You got to get it together. That's scary stuff.
He's only had 3.
That's the kind of thing that you contort your face and you can't move one side of your body. That's the kind of stuff that real hellish stuff. You ever read a book by a guy that's had a stroke? They're all, it's not good.
Neither of you, but you've listened to him.
No, I've believe me, I read plenty. I'm reading Art Pepper's book right now, reading it with my eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. You'd like it.
I started that book you gave me for Christmas. I started it last night.
I saw a documentary where he's featured in it about the guy that they said put beads up his butt to win a chess match.
Hell yeah.
He didn't do that. He actually didn't do that.
Spoiler alert.
I know. But it's a little anticlimactic because it's he didn't do it. But he was a real bad boy, the guy that came in. Yeah, he was real. He would yell and scream on the internet.
Good boy to me.
Yeah.
Good boy.
That's right. Good boy puts the beats in. All right. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy will be right back on the Sports Hub.
Good boy puts the beads in, but the best boy puts the Blue Chew Gold under his tongue. See, Blue Chew Gold is the new 4-in-1 upgrade from BlueChew.com that targets 2 areas below the belt and above the neck. You get 2 ingredients for circulation. You get 2 for arousal. Those are called apomorphine.
are Toucher and Hardy, and something actually interesting happened in college football, which I could care less about now. It's just a very JV version of the NFL that has no benefit. At least in the NFL, not only is the talent greater, the coaching better, and everything else, the venues in a lot of ways are better. They're not the old granddads of them all. But I'll tell you, seeing a game at University of Michigan is no treat compared to being at a brand new stadium, state-of-the-art stadium. I'll stand by that every day of the week. 100,000 people in a hole is not, with no noise, is not as fun as you think.
No noise?
No, and I have season tickets to BC, but let's be honest, it's not a block party. They're cheap and I can walk there. That's essentially what we're dealing with. I hope they win. Mm-hmm. I don't care when they lose. That's the way that I look at that. All right, I don't watch Michigan State football anymore. I don't watch any of it. So, because in the NFL, you sign a contract, you're under contract. There's certain laws that you have to stand by. There's rules that keep you in place. When you become a free agent, things change. But not so in college football. There's no rules, including if you bet on your own team at $90,000 in gambling on your own team, as Brendan Sorsby did when he was the quarterback at Indiana. They caught him. He admitted to guilt. Now, this is the death penalty. This is Pete Rose. You can't do this. The one thing sports has for it is that the outcome is not predetermined. We've been over this maybe 1,000 times. There's no argument that has ever satisfied me in favor of not punishing these people.
What if they only bet on their own team to win?
It doesn't matter because you're doing things differently. Then that could affect the next game. Pete Rose betting on his team to win. Fine, then he uses his closer in a situation where he normally wouldn't have. Now the next night when he doesn't have money on the game, closer's not available, so they're playing differently.
There's just
the butterfly effect.
There are multiple arguments against. For every reason that you bring up, it's not that big a deal. It is. Or it has the potential to be a big deal, and that's why you can't do it. It's the one rule that cannot. There's no wiggle room on it. Should be a zero tolerance for it.
And if you're the one thing that there should be a zero tolerance for, if anything, this would be it. And then people go, well, it's people can gamble on this and that, and people can do this and that. Well, yeah, if you have like some crippling pain, you get fentanyl, but you can't go around and get fentanyl off the street for legally. Like everything is like, wow. So yes, you can. Most people can gamble, but the people on the teams can't gamble.
Most people can drink. The guy flying your plane cannot.
Yeah, but just shut up. Like, do you want it all? Like, what is this fairness nonsense? Since when is the world like this? Well, the gambling advertises on the NFL. It's not fair. Oh, it's not fair. It's not fair that someone was born in a slum in Africa where they were just like they literally have nothing to eat and no means of like rising up in society, and someone's born to a royal family and coddled and never has anything to worry about. Life's not fair. This is hardly the biggest thing. How hard is it not to do one thing? It can be hard, but when you break that rule, there's punishments. So anyway, Texas Tech looks like complete a-holes now, worse than they did before. So Texas Tech, they say, we want to get an injunction that this kid can play for our team.
They got one from a Texas state judge.
Yeah, the attorney general in Texas, he puts an injunction on it, which is not a ruling. It just kind of holds it in limbo until there is a ruling, which is all he needed to play. So now it's up to Texas Tech. You have to remember, I'm not an idiot, that big an idiot. I know football brings in a lot of money. I know football brings in students. I understand all these things. But at the core, this is a school. How many people went to Texas Tech? You looked it up last week.
Like 42,000.
So currently, at all times, there's 42,000 kids at that school. There's 100 kids on the football team. Do you understand? You're and there'll be 42,000 kids next year. Like this is your business. There's probably 800 professors. This is the business. Football's nice and brings in a lot of money that lets you do things, but it lets you do things hopefully to help the student body, your alumni, get kids to come in that don't play football. You have to keep some air of shame around negative things that happen around your program. You can't just sit there in a semicircle like casual douchebags like the people from Texas Tech did, running it down how this kid deserves a second chance and this, that, and the third. And pulling like this whole alcoholism thing, AA thing on it. Like he's in recovery. Great. That's awesome. He can't play for you, you idiots. He just you can have sympathy for a kid and help a kid but he's still got to serve the punishment for what he did. You kill someone in a drunk driving accident. God help you. I hope you get sober. And, I hope eventually you help other people and you lead a nice life. But you got to pay for killing the person. You still got to go to jail. You can't just forgive. Just because someone has a problem doesn't mean they can behave any way they want to behave. And believe me, I know. I'm on the side of the person with the problem. But there has to be. You can't just go, oh, it's okay. You have a gambling problem. No, he broke the rule. He broke the rule that keeps you alive, that keeps your business alive. Well, but everyone gambles, gambling money. Yes, everyone can gamble, but him. How about that? That's it.
So as John said, the judge in Texas granted the temporary injunction so that he could play in the upcoming season for Texas Tech. The Big 12 then filed a lawsuit and said, no. We got to stop this from happening.
And the reason for that lawsuit was because the Attorney General went one step further and said, if you try and suspend him, if you try and take any legal action against him, you better be prepared for my office to come down on you.
Right.
The Big 12 heard that and went, okay, how do we avoid that? Well, they got a federal injunction to supersede the state one.
Okay, so Brendan Sorsby looks at all this. He says he's going to apply for the NFL supplemental draft, and now Field Yates has some information regarding Sorsby to the supplemental draft.
He's got serious moxie. His second reaction skills are all legit. This guy's got the goods to play in the NFL. He's got starting quarterback upside in the NFL. Which teams might be interested? Hard not to think about a team like the New York Jets. Still looking for a long-term answer. Plenty of draft capital right now. Geno Smith going to be the starter with Kate Klubnik behind him.
All right, so the supplemental draft works thusly. Only one time a first pick has been used in the supplemental draft, and it was for quarterback Dave Brown from Duke. I believe his name was Dave Brown. Mm-hmm. And I actually remember that. And he became...
Not to be confused with David Duke from Brown.
David Duke went to Brown?
No, but I think he played a little quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Okay.
He had some weird ideas, but otherwise...
Well, you say weird. Some of us say right.
You could sling it.
But so anyway, in the supplemental draft, what you do is that you basically are ranked based on your picks, and you could, like, say the Steelers offer up a third-round pick and the Jets offer up a third-round pick. The Jets' third-round pick is better than the Steelers, so the Jets win, so on and so forth. The Jets have 3 first-round picks. The idea that they're giving up a first-round pick for this kid is asinine. They could just wait for the draft and combine all their picks and go up and get it anyway. So a kid that didn't gamble on their own team. I highly doubt anyone gives up more than a 2.
If the Jets gave up a high 2 for that, that's not necessarily a bad gamble, considering they have
they have 3 first-round picks. If they wanted to do that,
Sure.
I wouldn't have a problem with them giving up a 2 to bring him in and see what you get. And if he sucks, he sucks, and then you go fine. If we have 3 first-round picks and we basically control the draft, I wouldn't have a problem with them giving up a 2. And how dare you say it'd be high? You saw what the Patriots did last year. Be the 31st pick in the draft for all you know. Geno Smith's had a good year 3 years ago.
My bad.
It's
and
a whole thing.
You're right. Gambling was a bad thing to say there.
So anyway, so this kid now is going to go to the NFL. But what this does is because he goes, wait a second, I might not be able to play a lot. Like, who knows how long they're going to make me sit out. And then that's going to hurt my draft stock. I best just get into the supplemental draft now. But what he did is he left Texas Tech hanging there. So they had to defend him in the face of every reasonable human being and make their university look like garbage. And he turns around and double freedom rockets them and gets into the supplemental draft. So now into Texas Tech sat there like a bunch of a-holes with no conscience and no morals or no standards at all. And they don't even get the kid they did it for.
Not
so
only
congratulations.
that, they have to pay.
Yeah, I
they
know.
Don't have to, but they're going to.
But it's like such a minor thing in the whole scale of it. Like, you went to the mattresses, you made yourself look ridiculous. You made your university look like there's no code, there's no standard. It just looks like a joke, some hillbilly yeehaw joke that's like in it with Boss Hogg and the rest of the gang down at City Hall, like just a bunch of stupid bumpkin Texans. And you did it. And you made yourself look awful. Now the kid's gone. Tee-hee. Way to go, dumbasses. You alienated the whole conference. You alienated the NCAA. You alienated everyone with a brain in their head. You probably alienated 3/4 of your student body. And congratulations. If you lived in Texas and all the money was the same, and your kid could go to Texas Tech or Texas, this doesn't favor Texas Tech.
No.
Texas Tech in your eyes.
No, it doesn't.
You're thinking,
Not a good look.
You're like, what the hell is going on over there? Bunch of idiots. All right. Well, very good. Let me tell you this. Be listening this morning at 8:55 for your chance to score a pair of tickets to see the Black Crowes. David Duke does not like that. Friday night at the Xfinity Center. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. We will have those coming up at 8:55. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
It'll be the Red Sox in Toronto at Fenway Park tonight in the opener of a 3-game series.
we are Toucher and Hardy. The World Cup is going on. In fact, in just a matter of hours, John will be at the World Cup game between Iraq and somewhere else.
Norway.
Yep, who cares?
How does that affect your nap schedule today, John?
No nap today.
No
nap.
You got time for a nap?
I do have time for a nap, but I got to pick up. The kids only have a half day. They have finals today. It's a whole thing. I got to take one somewhere. I just have too much to do. No nap.
He's going to be cranky tomorrow.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? So you said there's a big barbecue in the parking lot?
Yep.
Are you going to pretend you like either of the teams?
No. I'm not going to paint my face in, I don't even know what the colors for Norway or Iraq are, but no.
So you'll just be basically an observer.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes. It should be a good atmosphere, if nothing else.
I'll see it from above. Popcorn on the ground.
Don't need a ticket. What is that?
I don't know.
Just getting random music piped in the background.
I don't know.
All right.
All right. I don't know why it's so hard to play a bird noise.
Too hard.
All right. Very good. All right. So we're going to have someone on to talk about it in just a moment, one of the analysts that's covering the game. But first, Mike Francesa, Hardy.
Yes, Mike Francesa. Now, this goes back to when he was still on The Fan. And I get the sense that this caller is trolling Mr. Francesa.
No, that never happens.
I can kind of hear it in his voice. He wants to talk about the beautiful game, and you can probably guess Mike Francesa's interest level in talking soccer.
One of the great Francesa things is someone calls and talks to him about if he farted the day before, and he hangs up on him and he goes, what a jerk, what an idiot. He hold on this whole time, and he's like, what is he? And then one of the producers is like, well, the New York Post wrote about you farting. And like has to and he's like, what? And then he reads the whole article out loud.
Because he has nothing better to do.
And he goes, are you crazy? I taped that. Do you think that was from a taped pod? Do you think that we would leave if I farted? You think they'd leave it in? So he's like admitting they tape the first part of the show, which why the hell do you do that? And then he's like, we would have edited out the fart. And it's like, well, what if no one heard it? Like nothing he said made any sense. It was so great. He because he can hang up with the guy. He's like, he's an idiot because he's like, I read the part about you. I read about you farting today. And he's like, idiot. And then the producer's like, you were in the New York Post. Page 6 wrote about you farting. All right, so here he is talking about soccer, which John loves.
I to follow it at all. I mean, there's pretty good games out there.
Are you talking about the soccer?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good tournament. It's the end of the tournament, the most competitive stages.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So, you know what? I'm glad you enjoyed it.
There was a 6-1 game today, man. That's pretty good. Have you tried to look into it at all?
No, I have no interest, thank you.
Do your kids watch it at all?
Watch soccer?
Yeah, like
I hope not.
FIFA on the PlayStation. They play with Messi. I mean, he's very popular with kids.
He is?
You should give it a shot. I mean, it's a pretty entertaining tournament.
Wait, soccer's exciting. Listen, maybe if soccer's exciting on TV, you know what? I haven't yet grasped it if it's exciting on TV.
I mean, they're preempting and look at it.
Wait a second. I'm doing a radio show during the day. You think I have time to watch the TV show that's on when I'm on? Do you think that's what I do is watch the TV show?
Yeah. What do you think he's doing? Yeah. I mean, he's taking 100 phone calls. He's pretty busy.
So at this point, much like I'm not going to talk about this, I'm going to talk about it. He said, you think I got time to watch this soccer tournament while I'm on the air? What do you think he does next?
Gives the Mets score that's currently game that's currently going on.
He starts fiddle-effing around with the remote trying to find the soccer game. I love this.
Because he's never done play-by-play of a baseball game. Has been going on while he's doing his show. Yeah. Of course, it's impossible to watch TV.
We got to find all the games today, folks, on TBS, which on...
Oh, so now he's doing a read. Okay. Is that what he's doing?
Oh, no. No, he's got the remote in his hand.
On when I'm on? Do you think that's what I do is watch the TV show? Well, I got to find all the games today, folks, on TBS, which on my DirecTV is 242. Is that what it is? 240? I think it's 242. Let me see if I'm right. 242? TBS? 242. What did I say? On 242, I think is you. Let me see if it's 242. Hold on. It's USA 242. It's right around there.
Yeah, he doesn't have time for any shenanigans. First of all, is he at home? Like on my DirecTV? Well, it doesn't matter. It's like
I thought he was in studio. He's saying on my DirecTV it's this, but here in the studio,
I don't have time for any of this foolishness.
I need the clicker.
I told you the only time I ever heard Mike and the Mad Dog on WFAN. I was on Jersey Shore Beach, and I went, and I was so bored, it occurred to me to pick it up. And I love Mad Dog. But the two of them, I turned it on, and it was... I'm telling you, Jack Johnson. The Jack Johnson, 1923.
Hold on, there's something about Gentleman Jim Corbett in here too. Hold on, let me find it.
They were going through a sports almanac.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, probably 97, 98. They were going through a sports almanac.
No, here's a page on James J. Braddock.
To find out some ancient-ass boxer's record.
Yeah, he built the Verrazano Bridge.
I never heard that much dead air in my entire life. They just felt no need to fill the air. It's just like dead, static air.
They're on 1 to 6. They're on phone calls all the time.
Look, I love Mad Dog. I listen to him all the time.
2? Is that what it is? 240? I think it's 242. Let me see if I'm right. 242? TBS? 242. What did I say?
I just, like, even, when he sleeps, he rolls over and goes, wait a second. Like, he just says, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second.
TBS? 242. What did I say? On 242, I think is you. Let me see if it's 242. Hold on. It's USA 242. It's right around there.
Yeah, cool. Somewhere in that vicinity. It's numbers. I mean, TBS has got numbers.
There's a lot of T's, TNT, TBS.
Yeah, TNT, TNA. Whoa, that's not appropriate. All right. Well, look, like it or not, John's going to be at this stupid soccer game tonight.
Everybody likes
like a big idiot. And we're going to have a guy to talk about it. No, it was highly rated in Boston. I guess the World Cup, the USA game.
Second biggest market in terms of viewership.
Biggest market. I don't have time for any of this stuff. My time is too precious.
Sure.
Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll score a pair of tickets to see the Black Crowes Friday night at the Xfinity Center. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. We will be joined by Brian Dunseth. Dunseth?
Yeah,
absolutely. And he'll be doing some analyst work for the World Cup. We'll talk to him about everything that's going on in just a moment.
Three-game series with Toronto at Fenway Park tonight. Peyton Tolley will start. As for the latest rumors surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo, according to ESPN and reports out of Miami, Giannis is very focused on playing for the Heat, but the problem is Milwaukee isn't excited about the package of picks and players to make a trade to South Florida work. As a result, the Celtics and possibly others remain in the running. At the World Cup, Iran and New Zealand played to a 2-2 draw. Saudi Arabia and Uruguay and Belgium and Egypt both played to 1-1 draws. And in the shocker of the day, Cape Verde and tournament favorite Spain played to a scoreless tie. There are 3 more matches today, including Norway and Iraq at what is now called Boston Stadium at 6 p.m. tonight. And Texas Tech announced late last night quarterback Brendan Sorsby was leaving school and entering the NFL's supplemental draft. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. 24-hour on-call service for your clogged drain emergencies. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
I know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
And that's it. 3 points for the United States.
The most goals the United States have ever scored in a World Cup game. It is as close to a perfect beginning as any of us could have possibly imagined. The United States 4, Paraguay 1.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Obviously, the World Cup is going on right now. The United States men's team win over Paraguay, or Paraguay, whatever you want to say.
I think it's Guay. I think we all had it wrong in school. I think it's Uruguay and Paraguay.
Paraguay gives them, it was a big win by 3 goals. Gives them 3 points. Mm-hmm. I know. And a big leg up now. But listen, not all of us are John, who's attending the game at the Boston Stadium tonight. Some of us need to be educated in the ways of the World Cup. We don't ask John, this inarticulate fool in front of me. We ask Brian Dunseth, who played the game, analyzes the game for a living. And we appreciate him coming on. Brian, hello, sir.
How you guys doing?
We're
appreciate the time.
Oh well, no, we thank you so much for having for coming on with us. We do appreciate it. You know, every 4 years we try to act like what's going on and fail miserably, so we have to bring someone on who does.
So, Brian, I and looking back, I knew that you were here with the Revolution for a time. I did not know that the trade that sent you away from the Revolution returned Jay Heap, which that's quite a claim to fame around here.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a claim to fame it is for him, but for me in general, it was, listen, I was lucky enough to be the youngest player to sign for Major League Soccer at the time in 1997 for Project 40. Played for Thomas Rungan in the Reds, started alongside Alexi Lawless. Mike Burns was a roommate. We had Joe Max Moore. Harksey showed up. It was a beautiful time to be alive as a young kid who was really, I grew up in Southern California. I was 16 years old in 1994. I was interning and donating my time at the LA Convention Center because I couldn't afford tickets to go see the U.S. play at the Rose Bowl. I was even parking my truck up top above the Rose Bowl in the neighborhood to walk down and just take in the sights and the sounds, just to be a part of the culture and the fabric of what was happening as a young kid growing up in Southern California. So fast forward all these years later, I've got my oldest is 16. We're watching USA absolutely smash Paraguay. You got that one correct. The next challenge is to roll your R's for Uruguay. And now we're in this wild world of American sports lexicon where, we fall in love with these athletes during the Olympics, whether it be summer or winter. I think with the World Cup, you kind of add those. You wrap up the Super Bowl, you wrap up the NBA Finals. You inject it with some steroids, and you put it on a rocket ship to the moon with the fanfare and the eyeballs that are surrounding this World Cup kicking off so far.
Brian, is the U.S. better than we thought based on this one game? I think it's Australia on Friday, and they won.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, is this U.S. team a threat to win a knockout game, or are we still yet to be determined?
I've been a part of this group covering the U.S. men's national team for TNT at the house that Chuck and Kenny and Shaq have built. And, I've been fortunate enough to be through the process of the return of Greg Berhalter, the firing of Greg Berhalter, and, Mauricio Pochettino and his coaching staff coming over. I was a part of these last two games against Senegal and Germany, and we felt like there was momentum, but never could we have felt I guess the sense of urgency that we felt in that match against Paraguay the other night. I don't think it's been lost on any of these guys. And listen, the headlines are going to be Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, Chris Richards in particular. But these guys, I think they showed such a sense of urgency and dominance that, it almost reminded myself, guys like Tony Meola, Marcelo Balboa, John Harkes, Tab Ramos, those type of guys, that I think they were acutely aware that this was their opportunity to etch their name amongst the legends in cement. And based on that start, I think it took us by surprise because it was the first time we've seen that level of absolute dominance on a stage like this. And maybe we shouldn't be surprised because during Qatar, we saw glimpses of a young group that was fully capable of, performing at a really high level. But this feels like those younger kids, those young babies who were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, now they got a little bit more steel. And I was really impressed with not only the technical ability, but more importantly, I call it the dark arts, the manipulation of opponents. And I think we saw a fantastic amount of physicality that I think us as American sports fans can really lean into and be proud about.
Okay, so you win the first game, you win by 3 goals. What, in your opinion, needs to happen to ensure that the United States makes it to the knockout round?
Yeah, you got to win all these matches. Australia beat Turkey the other night up in Canada, and it was a really impressive performance. And I think one of the brilliant things that U.S. Soccer had done was in preparation for the World Cup draw, they had already scheduled games against Turkey, against Australia, against Paraguay, and had great results against all 3. So in this unique balance of having already played them in international friendly and then knowing because of that history, the tactical understanding, maybe some ideas or memories of the physicality a little coming together, that they have a decent idea of what they need to do. Based on that performance in that first game, to answer your question, the expectation now is to go out and dominate Australia, dominate Turkey, and win the group, put themselves in the best possible situation as the potential to head into the round of 32.
But just as it goes, like it would take a lot not to move on, right? Like that winning by that margin puts them in a position where they have a little bit of wiggle room now, right? Or no?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, effectively, they've already booked themselves into the next round with that win, giving themselves such a high positive goal differential with the 4-1 win, plus 3 goals. 3 points in the back pocket. What it effectively does is it guarantees you at least being in that conversation for that third place to go through. But that's not what these guys want. You don't want to be in that third place. You don't want to be coming up against a France or a Brazil or an Argentina so early in the tournament. You're going to face somebody huge down the line. But as of right now, yeah, they can. There's no chance these guys are resting on their laurels, and you can almost feel in any of these conversations, any of these little interviews, any of these social media posts, that these guys recognize how important it is to continue to put in this dominant performance. Because it's not just this tournament. I think they have to convince the American fan base of why they, as fans, should fall in love with these players.
In terms of the dominant teams, we saw what happened between Cape Verde and Spain last night, which is, I mean, by far the biggest upset so far. But is there anyone else that you looked at ahead of the tournament that now that you've got a chance to see them play, or any team that maybe was viewed as a favorite before the tournament, you think, you know what, they're not as unbeatable as maybe everyone was thinking?
I still have my questions about Brazil. I thought that was a great game, the 1-1 draw against Morocco on Saturday. I'm wondering, with Neymar still carrying that knee injury, what his role is going to look like throughout the course of the tournament. I still think we've seen some defensive transition frailties that they need to be aware of. I mean, Germany thrashing Curacao wasn't a surprise. I think everyone, to your point about the Spain-Cape Verde result, and I know in kind of the Massachusetts area, there's a huge Cape Verdean population and fan base that was going absolutely nuts. But I think we're still trying to understand how do we categorize Netherlands, Holland, after their 2-2 draw against Japan. Ivory Coast did the business against Ecuador. I'm really stubborn about Morocco and Senegal. I think those are two teams coming out of Africa that I think could be huge problems. I still think the conversation surrounding Argentina and Portugal, England, those are going to be teams that are going to be – everyone's going to have a really keen eye on to see if they can just show the hallmarks of a team that, as expected, are going to be dominant in a tournament like this. But, yeah, to your point, I think the Spain-Cape Verde result is maybe the perfect reference point for Gianni Infantino, FIFA president, to say this is exactly why we expanded the format for the World Cup, to give countries like Cape Verde an opportunity to, forever etch their name in stone as legendary status during a World Cup.
I wanted to ask you about the U.S. roster real quick. And you mentioned people looking for a reason to root for this team. Obviously, when you talk about the U.S. roster, Christian Pulisic's name is brought up. Where do you put him as far as all-time greats for U.S. soccer? I mean, how seriously should fans look at him?
Yeah, very, very, very seriously. People forget as a teenager he was at Borussia Dortmund in Germany, bet on himself, got himself a $75 million transfer to Chelsea, dealt with an incredible amount of injury during his time there, but also lifted his Champions League trophy, made the move to AC Milan. I think for the neutrals, recognizing the success that he had there was undoubted. He's an introverted extrovert introvert off the field, extrovert on the field. He's the guy that there's always something special when the ball's on his foot. And I think with the one thing we don't often talk about is this, they got tagged golden generation, and that's a heavy tag to deal with. But ultimately, when you really strip it down, a majority of these guys have been together since they were 14, 15 years old in the U.S. system. There's a bond, there's a brotherhood, there's a connective tissue of DNA, of experience, of everything that they've dealt with. And as good as and as important as he absolutely is, I think the same goes for guys like Weston McKennie, for Tyler Adams, for Chris Richards, for Jedi Robinson, for Tim Ream, for Timmy Weah. These guys collectively make each other better. But to your point, my answer would be statistically, he will forever be ranked among the best. And as we continue in this echelon of, the Eric Winaldas and the John Harkses and the Tab Ramoses from that generation to this previous generation of the Landon Donovans and the Clint Dempseys, I think it would be naive not to suggest that when the ink is dry, his name is etched among those legends of U.S. soccer.
Well, listen, you sell it very well, my friend, Brian Dunseth. Thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. Have fun.
I appreciate it. I'm down in Mexico right now taking in all the World Cup as a television analyst. So it's the different perspectives of what this world's game is doing has been incredible. Looking forward to the next conversation, guys.
All right, buddy. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
Of course.
All right, there you go. The great Brian Dunseth, who Hardy found common ground with right away. Giving up, of course, the trade that he was involved in that we all remember very well.
Well, Jay Heap, went on to become coach here. I mean, this
manager. If you're going to do it all the way, then do it. Manager.
Somebody's going to the match tonight. Notice I didn't say game to further offend him.
Hello. I just can't stop looking at that crispy Boston Herald that's sitting right next to you.
I know. We were like, what is this alien thing that has landed in the studio?
There were two newspapers sitting here. They have to be from Felger yesterday.
Yeah.
A crisp Boston Herald and a crisp Boston Globe from yesterday. And I thought I was the last person to get the physical newspaper. And, I gave up that goes probably 2 years ago now, maybe
really?
3
That
years
recently?
ago. Yeah, we're still getting Globe
Same with
home
me.
delivery.
I was getting the Sunday Globe, and I'd still be getting it, but they can't find my house.
Well, that was the problem. I would have kept getting it.
You've never been there, John, so obviously you can't find it either. But Hardy could see why it's like they don't even bother looking. They're just like it happens all the time, but usually people don't give up. Like the paper guy just gave up. He just wouldn't deliver the paper.
Yeah, we were getting it 7 days a week, and it was my wish to have it before I would leave for work. Back during the midday show, and it's like on the days when it wasn't there by 9 a.m. I'm like, okay, well maybe we don't really need this anymore.
How can they not
Online.
get it to you by 9 in the morning?
Yeah, there were issues sometimes. I don't know.
Issues. Okay.
The only issue John has is that there's no one stopping him from breathing right now.
Do you think they're going to keep that T-shirt up or not? What
I think they'll
odds?
keep it up. Why wouldn't they? They can't touch that stuff.
Okay.
It's my area.
Yeah.
You know? I'm sure I'll remember to look today. I'll be like, I'll get home and I'll go like, wait a second, something happened over there that I need to look at.
Where's the T-shirt?
No, but I was watching the midday show yesterday. I got up from my nap at like 1:30. I went downstairs. I turned them on. I like having it on in the background, and I saw Fonzie's face and I went, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Like someone just sent it, and like it's funny that Happy Days made an album, but doesn't express any one of our loves.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, oh yeah, we have these John shirts that the guy made of him, loving getting smothered, and it's nothing dirty on it.
No,
it's just a fat chick sitting on you with a big smile on your face. Nothing illegal about being fat.
You're right.
Nothing dirty about it. Nothing wrong.
No,
Nothing
look,
wrong with it.
And if you can't fit on rides, you go, girl.
Don't.
I'm a support.
Oh boy.
If you can't
He's
fit on
at
the
it
rides,
again.
You go, girl.
I'm gonna get phone calls.
I'm saying you go, girl. I'm an advocate.
You're empowering.
That's right.
Exactly.
3 snaps in a Z formation there. Nice job.
Exactly. If you're too big to fit on the ride, they got to change the ride. That's what I say.
They're performing a service. They're letting other people know.
And
yes, hopefully, sparking change.
Exactly. There's these women, they go to Disney World. They love Disney World more than anything. And they see if they can fit in things, and then as a public service, they tell you if they can't.
Mm-hmm.
And so other people don't have that, that awkward situation of not fitting in on the ride. And it's very empowering to a lot of people. And that's what's going on.
And the food reviews let you know what's good to eat, what's not good to eat.
Yeah. And then also, and this is true.
This is true. I know what you're going to say. I know.
Fitting into the booth.
Right, the booth
at
the different restaurants. Can you fit in the booth? That's not just about the ride. Can you fit in the booth at the various restaurants they have at the Disney properties?
And there's almost like an Iggy Pop sensibility of like daring the audience to say something.
I didn't get that sense.
There's almost like come get it, come say something. And then we attack. And then we come after you.
I have not experienced that at all.
Oh, I have. As a matter of fact. That's why I become an advocate. They've turned me. And all the weird people DMing me during that time really changed my mind on things. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with your award-winning email segment.
You're listening.
All right, sorry. I was having trouble getting my headphones on. The Toucher and Hardy email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens. It's 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. I've gotten quite a few emails today, I'm just coming to realize. And Alex says, hey, guys, any idea where the soccer guest grew up? Do you have any guess?
I looked it up, so I already know.
Well, he said Southern California. A few times is what the guy was getting at with his email.
All right. I thought you meant the actual town. I think it was Upland.
Oh, I see. Dave says, maybe my favorite part of your Jimmy Stewart character is this. Many times as I've heard him randomly chime in on Felger and Maz, I've never heard him start with, hey, guess what? Listen, my phone's telling me something. You got about 10 seconds to live. I got a guy on my phone that thinks you don't deserve a head. Got a guy on my phone that wants to play with your guts. I got a guy on my phone that once slammed Big John's stud and got $10,000.
The last thing you hear before the lights go out.
They expose their bellies when they trust you.
Do you like your feet being rubbed, licked, or tickled?
Yeah.
My goodness. Very beautiful feet and pretty good toes. I love them. Enjoy your weekend.
That's him tipping his cap to the ladies walking down the street. Hello, Miss Sabbath. Hello. It's nice to see you. You have gorgeous feet. Have a good weekend. All right. Mike Frances. Fred, I get a chuckle out of Frances's response to that caller that he had no time to watch something while he does the show. Wasn't he watching the coverage of the Pope selection several years ago?
Oh, my God.
It wasn't the most recent Pope selection, but I think it was the one prior to that. Hilarious.
No,
That's
it's legendary. Is there
Bergoglio?
Is there smoke? No. Is there no smoke? And he won't allow the producer to have a live mic. So he's only in his ear. He's like, well, is there smoke? Is there white smoke? And you can kind of hear like the faintest, voice in his ear bleeding onto his mic while he's listening to the producer talk, but he wouldn't allow the producer to go on the air.
No,
so it's a one-sided conversation. What? So we got a pope. We don't. What?
The white smoke
What?
the black smoke, the white smoke.
We have a pope, huh?
Yeah. No, he's constantly watching TV. Like he's nothing if not hypocritical. And also, the reason it was so funny to prank him was he's the perfect guy to prank call because he will not go with the flow. He will react negatively to it. He can't joke around. I've never heard him even remotely joke around about anything.
The man fell asleep on air at one point
and wouldn't admit it.
Exactly.
And he did fall asleep.
There's video evidence of this happening, Mike.
Yeah, like when you fall asleep, you're asleep. Like you fell asleep, and then he lifted his head up, and he was all wild-eyed, like he didn't know where he was.
Your head jerked awake, sir. It was pretty easy to spot.
People do close their eyes. I mean, you can close your eyes and still be awake, but when you open your eyes and then start looking around all wild-eyed, yes, you fell asleep. And the thing that's funny about that is you could just go like, "Oh my God, I fell asleep," and then it's over. But no. Francesa has to say he didn't fall asleep, which makes it 1,000 times worse. That's the same thing with the Vrabel thing. Just no, dummy, I didn't do it. Oh, you didn't? Okay, well now let's really look at it. I mean, it's just the instincts of people are so dumb. If you just go, yeah, I fell asleep, or yeah, I farted, then it's not in page 6. If he went, oh, I farted, oh, hey.
Tim has said As spot on as the Zolak Brule bit is, I would argue that Francesa would be able to fit the bill as a New York version of Dr. Steve Brule. His noises and falling asleep would make for a great battle of the Brules with Zoe. And trust me, I know, I listen to the radio too. So all the stuff that Francesa has said and continues to say, does any of it approach the Brule-like levels that Zoe has?
Yes, it just in a different way. There's levels John C. Reilly does with Steve Brule. One is like the Zoe kind of animated, and the other one is like the laid-back know-it-all Brule, like, which is the funnier one in my case. Like kind of the...
Okay, so that part of it is, but Francesa's never going to give us...
That's like taking candy from a baby, you know? Give me the candy, baby. Baby's going to give me the candy and cry.
It won't be the nonsense, but that kind of know-it-all, like, but not knowing it, it's pure Francesa.
You ever wish you were a monkey yourself? Did the monkeys have ribs? They're less ribs? No? Why'd you ask that? You know, maybe reincarnation, that you come back as a monkey in your next life. They're so smart, but yet they have to have diapers on. You can't teach them to crap on a toilet?
When I watched it yesterday, Bertrand wouldn't let Scott off the hook because he said something about, like, you needed a new stadium to do something. Like, the teams that were doing something all had new stadiums. And then Bertrand laundry listed all the teams that had achieved whatever he was talking about that didn't have new stadiums. They all did not have new stadiums. And then he was making Scott feel bad, and a guy called in to defend Scott. Scott, why would you not want ribs, Scott?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I want ribs.
Almost real life there.
I want ribs.
Perfect.
Oh. So, you ever go to Chili's? You ever the
you used to work there.
So, I never have a real job. I don't work. I don't work out and I don't pay. But I used to go to this Chili's where they give me free ribs. And I'd go in there and I'd sit there and eat so many ribs. And then I had to go to the bathroom. I came back. I said, what happened to the ribs? I was still working on that bone. And they say they brought new ribs. I didn't even have to eat the gristle off the rib.
But when we were talking about removing a rib, when I said, did you want to be if you would like come back as a monkey?
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Right. I know that you're a creationalist. There's no doubt about it. Right. I bet you are. But I will ask
creatine. That's what I did. Did you see a picture of me and Bledsoe in front of the jug machine?
I have seen that.
Ripped.
Yes,
I was ripped.
Yeah, you still look good though.
I look at it. Yeah, hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah.
But we were talking about you coming.
Me. Wallach would. I know. What's up?
Yeah, Wallach's pretty
What's
gay.
Up, fruitcake?
Wallach's gay.
Yeah.
So listen.
Yeah.
But
he called you gay.
Well, I meant it as a fact. But we were talking about you coming
gay
back.
Boy. What's up?
We were talking about you coming back as a monkey, and you had mentioned, do they have as many ribs? I was wondering why you didn't want the rib. Was it the self-fillet is what I'm asking?
I'm hungry. I'm going to go downstairs later because I talked to my guy yesterday. How was his name? I call him Jose. I'm like, hey. No, because I just say, like, hey, Jose. And I'm like, what we got tomorrow? And he said, I don't know what he said, but it sounded good. So I'm going to go get that in a minute.
So you don't know what you're getting.
You'll eat whatever is they're offering.
Could be anything.
Yeah. And I don't pay. I just take it. They're like, it's good. I'm like, yeah.
Even downstairs too? Really?
No.
So you're saying the guys that work in the kitchen downstairs were big fans of the mid to late 90s Pats?
Hell yeah. Not like Wallach. Gay boy.
All right, well, we established that, Scott. Thank you so much for the time. Be funny if, like, Jackie used to get in trouble for when they played the laugh during horrible stories. If Scott got in trouble for something he said to Scott.
Makes me laugh out loud every time still.
Oh, when they're
Fred would drop in the Jackie.
Yeah, when they're like, like there was this horrible car accident and like 16 kids were killed and you
right. Pronunciation issues on the email today.
This is not about me.
No. Well, they're all about all of us because we're all doing stuff wrong. If you guys happen to listen to the Hub yesterday, updates were pronouncing it Cape Verde and not Cape Verde. It is evident there's a lack of culture existing outside of the morning show, blah, blah, blah. I just got an email a few minutes ago saying, you're killing me. It's, please get the pronunciation correct. There's a large population around Boston. It's Cape Verde, not Verde.
All right. Well, the soccer guy, the soccer guest was saying Verde as well.
I thought he did too.
Yeah,
he did. He did. Because I got that email too, and I was I haven't said it either way.
The play-by-play clip you played in the 6 o'clock hour of the tie with Spain, the guy calling the game called them Cape Verde.
And I questioned the amount of people from Cape Verde or Verde around here, in that it's a tiny island. I just don't know how much of a dent it could make in any population.
So
apparently there are more Cape Verdeans here than anywhere else in the country.
Okay.
This is what I read yesterday.
Oh, so it's like a Chaldean situation.
Now,
I get it.
The one thing I do want to look up quickly.
Why'd they come here?
I don't have an answer for that.
Terrible
I don't know.
here.
Yeah.
Is it Cape?
Could have gone anywhere.
People from Cape Verde, are they Cape Verdeans or Viridians? Because I've said Viridian, and that's probably wrong. It would make more sense if it was Verdians.
Nick, what do you say? I mean, is anyone commented on Nick having 3 strokes and that he needs to get it together here a little bit?
Nary a mention. Here's the weirdest pronunciation email we got today. Another person said that we are killing them. It's not Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
So we're enunciating.
You have to separate the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You can't say Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Wow.
And the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
But they did in the commercial. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah. They did do that.
Yeah. So what the hell?
I mean, it pisses me off too.
The mispronunciation of the breakfast cereal?
Absolutely. And especially just when Nick has got such a tight story with so little gaps or slurs. It's just like a nice, tight who, what, where, when. That's Nick telling a story. Until he stumbles upon that he eats in his sleep, and he's been doing so for 2 years.
Instagram.
Or for years, twice a week for 2 years. And then he says, he texts us, I mailed the Adolfo thing. Days go by, he says, Adolfo hasn't gotten it yet. And I go, where is it? And he goes, I don't know. And I said, what do you mean you don't know? And he goes, and I go, there's no tracking number? And he goes, no, there's no tracking number.
Specialists.
No. He just took the thing the scientists sent us and just put it in the mail.
Finally, Skip and Ernestine's podcast location. I know that their $1 million budget. I think I know where their $1 million budget podcast was recorded. About the time they started talking about Hazel the dog's age, there's a computer-like melody in the background. It is their washing machine. I only know because I have the exact same one. So it has to be a Sunday recording because we all know that's laundry day. So that pristine podcast sound is their laundry room. You know, the best acoustics in the house.
Well, look, they've got in-house laundry. I mean, they're not going to a laundromat. That means money. Mike, go ahead.
Morning, first time, long time.
Hello.
Guys, the Portuguese word for green is verde, not verde. Cape Verde used to be a Portuguese territory, so that's tons of Cape Verdean folks around here. I also get this
So
same
how do you
thing
say it? How do you say
Cape Verde.
Cape Verde.
Cape Verde.
So,
Okay,
and
very
people from Cape Verde are what?
Cape Verdean.
Cape Verde.
Or Creole, the Creole.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Like the Portuguese Creole. I also get rung up on the Cinnamon Toast Crunch thing with Goodwill Hunting versus Goodwill Hunting, the movie. I thought it was the hunting for goodwill. Anyways.
All right. So thank you.
Okay.
There you go. This has become Sniglets, and we're having fun. Cape Verde.
Cape Verde. Okay.
So now you have that in your back pocket the next time you need it.
Yep.
Maybe 8 years, because no guarantee they're in next one.
That goalkeeper will be 44 the next time around, so probably not.
All right. So we'll be back in just a moment to finish this whole enterprise up.
Sports Hub headline.
The free-falling Red Sox had last night off. They pitched lefty Peyton Tolley tonight as they open up a 3-game series against Toronto at Fenway Park. ESPN and others are reporting that Giannis Antetokounmpo is focused on playing in Miami next season.
little help getting started in the morning?
It's very dangerous.
They've got the experts.
So, no.
Toucher and Hardy.
No.
On the Sports Hub.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
It's
time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. And Hardy, what is going on? How are we ending this whole affair?
Big shakeup behind the kid for Godsmack. Mike Mangini, who you know from the band Dream Theater.
Oh, yeah, but he's not Dave Portnoy.
Okay. He is.
So, he's not who I associate with playing drums in Dream Theater. Okay.
I apologize for doing rudimentary explanations
look,
for
dude,
you.
Look, we don't have it.
Far greater understanding of the depth chart of these bands than
Let's just say you got to do a little homework before you pick up a geet at the center.
Anyone else? Mike Mangini has joined Godsmack after the abrupt exit of their new drummer. So, and of course the new drummer was Wade Murph, who had just joined the band this year. Well, Mangini made his stage debut on Friday in Riverside, Missouri, because Murph left to join goth rockers Black Veil Brides out on tour.
Yeah, that was a big, big deal.
That was a big shakeup.
Yeah, Eddie had a lot to say about those things.
And by the way, it's Mike Portnoy, not Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
Because Mangini had spent 13 years.
But that's what he checks into hotels as.
Oh, I understand. Do you know he had also formed his own band?
Yeah.
Well, okay, what's the band called?
The David Bailey Project.
No. Monolith.
Oh, that's another side project of his.
Yes.
So is it true Jelly Roll and the woman that he was married to who has a book out about being a prostitute are getting divorced? Because I read an article about that. It might not, I read it off of a website. But I don't know, for sure if it's true because it's on the
Jelly
internet.
Roll files for divorce from wife Bunny XO after almost a decade of marriage. Oh, my God. It's from Fox, Today, TMZ.
Yeah. So there's in the world of the Roll, kids, if you've ever worried about overexposure, check one Jelly Roll.
If you've never worried about overexposure,
oh, yeah, right.
Please check Jelly Roll.
It's the biggest example of a terrible, terrible, terrible team behind him.
Look up Roll, Jelly.
Just having him do everything and way too much, and his wife with a book and everything. He was so overexposed. But apparently, he's pulling out of there's this whole worlds that we don't know about. And there's this whole world where Kid Rock's performing and Post Malone's performing and all these things. And he pulls out of these gigs and then Stained is the band that comes in. Who knew Stained was still a band? But apparently there's this world that exists where Kid Rock is playing shows and then when Jelly Roll pulls out, Stained goes in. My friend was a guest. My friend from Atlanta that I worked with in Atlanta was on a podcast recently, and I saw it. And he goes, he's still on the radio, but he was on this podcast, and he goes, Fred Toucher, they speak very highly of me, which I appreciate. And then he goes, Fred Toucher ruined my relationship with Kid Rock.
Oh.
And this is what he claims. So he used to, when Kid Rock first came out and no one knew who he was, he had the Devil Without a Cause album. Mm-hmm. He got it in a record meeting. He thought the cover was interesting. So he took it home. He liked the album. He went to the program director, Leslie, and he said, can I play something for this? She said, sure, call the record rep and ask what to play. So he calls the record rep from Atlantic, I believe, the label that has Kid Rock. He goes, what's the single? He goes, I don't know. And so he calls the head of whatever division of Atlantic it is. The head of the division goes, play something that's not one of the hits. Axl plays it. Fast forward a week later, Kid Rock's in town. Axl's doing a bar appearance. He comes and hangs out. They become friends. They exchange numbers. So then when I met Axl, he would get drunk and go, I have Bob's number. Kid Rock, Bob Ritchie. I have Bob's number. I have Bob's number. So he would call it all drunk, and it would go to an answering service, and then da-da-da-da-da. So this was always funny to me, and I love Axl. So one day he claims he was going to interview Kid Rock, and I asked if I could sit in on it. We all think
big mistake.
I think that we can all agree that probably isn't the way it happened. So anyway, I'm in there with a Kid Rock interview, which I do remember, and I said to him, "Hey, why aren't you taking Axl's calls anymore?" And then like he says something, and then Axl says, "I said, is it because you're marrying that whore?"
No, you didn't say that.
There's no way, and it was Pamela Anderson, and I'm like, "There's no way I said that." Like. You're telling this story. It's another thing. It's like you're telling a story.
And he's told it so many times he believes it.
Yeah.
Like in the reaction of me going like, why are you blowing off Axl? Why won't you talk to Axl? Which I know I said that. Like, why is that? Like, that's not getting the reaction you want. So you turned it into who's, like, I just flat out said, is it because you're marrying that whore?
That's quite a leap.
Yeah, like
really a leap.
I can only think of someone being called a whore on the show this in Boston one time, and it was one of the porn stars with Tiger Woods, and it wasn't me that called her a whore.
That's
in
correct.
fact, I was like, whoa. Not that it was like, not like I thought you should have gotten in trouble or something, nothing like that. But I was like, I was like, whoa, like you called her a whore.
Yeah.
Like I don't think. Now everyone's going to find tapes of me doing it all over the place, but I don't recall like doing that.
And I also don't doubt that you've ruined many a relationship for people. But
yeah, by swinging it around and getting the chick.
Okay.
By strutting around and having the chick go, I'm leaving my guy, and me going, what are you going to do about it, buddy? Come after the king?
Okay, can we go?
By the way, did you see pictures from the golf tournament they took of us?
Yeah,
No.
we look really good.
I look 1,000. I don't know if I've ever looked older in my entire life.
Boy.
Hardy, you and John, swear to God, and I'm not even in bad shape, you two look 20 years younger than me. And I'm younger than you. And I got a hat on. But I can't cut the beard because if I do, the chin's exposed. And we can't have that.
That's right.
I might have to have plastic surgery. That's on the table. Let's really start.
Let's just start with some fillers.
Let's start dicking around in there real good. All right. So we'll be back later. That'll do it for us. Bye.